Switch. We live? Good.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can Jerry be, like right up front, because unfortunately he's leaving us? Can we, Jerry, address everything first?
Excuse me?
What?
When we have discussions, Jerry, you're up.
No, he doesn't care. He's already checked.
Or do you want to be last?
No, I'm a lame duck.
Gentlemen, it's 7 PM. This is the planning board meeting for April 14, 2016, 7 PM. First item on the agenda is minutes, but before we start that, I just want to make an announcement that the agenda had an item on there that said 7:30, public hearing for Wellington Drive. That is actually supposed to be 8:30, so we'll fill that time in with other board business, and the 7:30 hearing will start probably at 8:30, hopefully. That fixes the agenda. Meeting minutes? Any issues?
None. Perfect as always.
So it is the pleasure of the board.
Accept the minutes as drawn.
Seconded.
We have a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. The ayes have it. Mail.
Yeah, under mail, we have the proposal from RKG, just handed that out a moment ago, for updates, consulting assistance to update the sign bylaw.
Signed bylaw. Now, these funds were included in the past,
They're included in the town meeting warrant, the special town meeting warrant
Warrant.
for the May special town meeting.
Very good.
If the town approves them, then they would be available immediately after town meeting.
to help, for RKG to help us revamp and update our signed bylaw.
Right.
Great. I would recommend that we approve this.
Second.
Do we have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
How that goes.
Now say second. Now
The
say
fee
second.
proposal
Second.
for RKG for $11,000. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye.
No.
All opposed?
Opposed.
The ayes have it. Bills and payroll.
Okay, there are 3 bills from Green International for peer reviews, 2 peer reviews and 1 construction inspection that are in the bills, and the payroll is just the next month of payroll. Let's see, I always add the ongoing construction update line to the agenda in case anything happens at the last minute that we need to discuss. I haven't heard any updates on any of the sites,
Great.
anything that needs board attention. So. And then the next agenda item, the master plan update. RKG, Eric Halverson of RKG and Daphne Politis of Community Circle were in town hall last, let's see, it was the 1st of April and Tuesday the 5th of April. I hope I have those dates right. Anyway, they did stakeholder interviews. They had almost 50 interviews those 2 days, and they'll be presenting Tuesday night, the 19th, at the Master Plan Update Steering Committee meeting, what they heard at through those interviews, and then they'll be starting to discuss the rest of the public input plan and getting feedback from the Master Plan Committee on that.
That's great. I participated in one of those interviews the other night. It was myself and Melissa. You were there. The RKG people were, I felt very professional, and I think they did a terrific job in asking the questions and trying to get to the root of how the individuals on the different committees and boards feel. We're able to express our opinions. Of course, everybody in town will be able to express their opinion coming up. This was basically geared for town boards and committees.
Well, yeah, there was quite a bit of staff, town boards and committees, and some landowners and some developers.
I think they did a great job.
So he's,
And then there's,
master plan one, is that's still going on? Is that what that one is, the one? January one?
That's
yeah,
over here.
on the
What was
payroll.
that? Oh,
Yeah.
No, I got a pen, but you need one.
oh, I had it, yeah.
Right, and then there were no applicants for the open seat on the master plan update steering committee member. Selectmen will, I believe they will be re-advertising that, so there's still an opening on the master plan steering committee.
For a citizen.
Yeah,
Did you hear that? We need to get one citizen involved in this master plan. So it's one of the most important events that we'll have over the next 10 years. So hopefully, there's somebody out there that will apply for that open position. That'd be great. Merit, under construction, did you mention earlier today, I see an email about some update on the point? There was a,
There was a video put out.
there, LCTV has a program called Small Town, and it's one of the programs. Sam Hart came in and met with the host and did an update on the point. It sounded to me like it was probably about a month ago that they taped that. And I just thought it was very interesting.
Can we watch that at 7:30?
Works for me.
so that's available at home for everybody. I absolutely recommend watching it. And let's see, master plan update. Just, we're done?
And the other thing I added to the agenda, because I never remembered to ask, is for update from board members who sit on other boards representing the planning board. I said that backwards, but you hopefully got the gist of it. Like the Community Preservation Committee, Economic Development Committee, Housing Committee. A lot of times, planning board will appoint one of the members to sit on those boards, but we don't do that great a job of trying to gather the feedback from those members at a planning board meeting, so.
In the future, we'll have to see what we can do. I know I'm on one or two of those boards, so I'll dig up, I'll prepare something for our next meeting.
Well, speaking, I'm on the CPC committee as a member of the, representing the planning board, and I can tell you that the CPC worked very hard this year in trying to actually put some money away and create a savings as opposed to zero budget balance. They actually put some money in the bank, and the way they divided it up seemed to be amicable to most on the board, and I think that with the savings provided, they'll be able to do more in the future. So I think the CPC's done a wonderful job this year.
Peter, are you on any boards?
Just out of my mind,
You're on your mind. How about you?
bored out of my mind.
No, not on anything.
Didn't we get you on something?
I'm on the tanning board.
Okay. And Jerry,
Jerry's done.
are you on any boards or committees?
I'm done, dude.
You're what?
Done.
What does that mean?
Done.
Means stick a
Done.
fork in them.
Uh-oh.
Done is done.
Okay.
No, I realized that I put the master plan update on there and would hear from you and from Peter on that, but no, Ed has given us the CPC update.
Now, the master plan, if the rest of the interviews go as well as the one that I sat through the other night, I think we'll have great input. And now that's only part of it. Then there's implementation that follows. Input and development of the master plan, and then implementation afterwards. And one of the things that they stressed was the implementation portion. That's where most towns fall flat. Looking forward, we got to make sure that we we have certain goals that we want to achieve by certain dates, and then manage the process so that we can make sure we hit those dates. So if you have any, if you want to have any say in the master plan, where the town will look for the next 10 years or further, keep following the master plan update committee, and any input from residents would be highly appreciated. How about you, Mark?
Nothing?
You
No,
have no input.
no, I've been watching you guys from afar.
All right, and we're at 7:10. Continued public hearing for 80 King Street. Aquifer Water Research District Special Permit Site Plan Review. Redeveloped 80 King Street. Applicant requested this hearing to be continued to the July meeting. So we'll pass on that one for tonight.
Well, so you've reopened the continued public hearing. What I need is a date certain when you're going to continue that to. The usual meeting, well, the second Thursday in July would be the 14th. I wasn't sure if that was going to be your meeting date, or if you were going to
So
choose.
it's a great time to have that discussion now.
7,
Jerry, your
14,
thoughts on
21, or
moving the
22?
meeting away from the second Thursday of the month? Any opinion?
I'm ambivalent, really.
In that case, Mark, any thoughts? The reason I bring it up is because I'm also a member of a sportsman club, and our meeting is also this Thursday every month.
The second Thursday.
The second Thursday of every month, yes. So if we could move it to any other day of the month, I'd be grateful.
What a Friday night. What a Friday
No, do you want to change the day or just the, you want to change the
Why not,
week or
right?
just the day?
We'll stick with the Thursday.
If we can change the week, that's fine too. Yeah, Thursday's okay. If we move it to a different week.
We used to do first and third, didn't we?
It
In the
varied.
afternoon.
Yeah. Want to move it to the third Thursday?
The third Thursday is appeals board
CBA.
meetings.
Oh, yeah, we can't do that.
How about
So
the first?
First,
So it'd be the first Thursday.
so
Any objections?
None.
Going forward, we'll meet on the first Thursday of every
Where does
month.
that land in July, though?
on the 7th.
July July
No, you're going to be a real
week.
pain in the,
That's my job.
Except for that one. Now the 7th's going to be tough with the 4th
Yeah.
of July there.
It's gonna be tough for a lot of people, so.
just the one time,
Yep,
and New Year's.
or for that month, slide it back to the 21st, and we'll arm wrestle the appeals board for which meeting rooms. I mean, we have the two to choose from,
Right.
this and 307.
Well, I mean, what's on the agenda at the sports club?
Well, for that month, I'm not available on the 14th, so either the 7th or the 21st works for me.
Usually firearm regulations, but, that's beside the point.
It's-
Other important
Some-
items.
Some things are important.
Okay, so
21st?
did I hear that you were continuing the public hearing to the 21st of July?
Yes,
what I
first,
heard?
we have to
Thank
open.
you.
I'd like to make a motion to
Open.
continue the hearing to the 21st of July.
Do we have a second?
I'll second, yeah.
All right, good. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
All right.
The ayes have it.
Thank you.
And then from then on, we'll meet on the first Thursday.
Works for me.
Wonderful.
So next,
May is
May is
already set at the 14th.
Yep.
So June
Let's switch to the first Thursday.
1st.
June will be the first Thursday.
So if the 1st falls on that Thursday, are we meeting on the 1st? Or are we meeting the 7 days later on the?
Okay, in June, we have the 7th, 9th, 16th, 23rd, or 30th to choose from.
Okay. So the 7th, that would be
Seventh.
fine.
Yeah.
I'm just saying if the first day of the month is that Thursday, do we meet that first day?
Yeah, technically, that's the first Thursday.
There you go.
Just that, I just want clarification, these are important things people need to know.
First Thursday is the first Thursday.
Okay.
7:15.
Unless anybody has an objection.
No, no.
Did you say 7:15?
Is that okay with
You
you?
just vote on. Oh, yeah.
Good.
Falling behind.
7:15.
No, we kill the time till 7:15, so we're right on time now.
We have 7:15, we have an A&R for Buckley Road, Webster. Let's see. Application, plans.
How much are these things, Whack? Just, because I don't want, I think we're getting close to the $50 deal we're supposed to report this. Anybody know?
I have
Oh.
a CVS card, so I get a discount.
Yes.
So Sherry, could you identify yourself for the home
Cheryl Gould,
people at
attorney
home? Great.
for the owner, the Carolyn Webster Trust is the owner now. And Jonathan Markey is the engineer for the prospective purchaser of the lot. And he's designed the plan. And you have in front of you what I believe is just a straightforward A&R for one lot on Bulkley Road. I believe this lot sits across the street from the Carolyn Webster homestead on Bulkley
Yes.
Road. And it's about, can we describe it, if
Go
you
for
want
it.
one?
Sure, it's two lots, each of which meet the requirements for lot area, uplands area, lot shape factor. This piece is sandwiched between Bulkley Road and the MBTA railroad tracks, which sits directly across from 25 Bulkley. As you remember, we did three A&R lots on Bulkley Road, I think 2 years ago. So this one, we did have the wetlands flagged by Seacamp Environmental. So the wetland line that you do see has been delineated by a wetland scientist. It's not just taken off of the town map. So the areas that you see meeting the shape factors and the upland, requisite upland areas are met.
Okay.
Yeah, when the A&R was first submitted, there was a question about the lot numbers. Jonathan was able to fix those, so we do have the new Mylar. And now you reflect lots 7-2 and 7-3. if I-
7.3 and 7.4.
Thank you.
This is.
That's the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're looking at, tonight we're looking at 7-2 and 7-1?
On your plan, yes, but they've been renumbered to 3 and 4,
Okay,
because there's already a 7.1 and there's a 7.2.
okay.
You point out on mine too, so I can tell you what the hell you're looking
Well,
at.
I can walk down
Yeah,
3, 4, because there's already 2, and that one's actually 1.
So is this, show me where the lot, I can't,
Yeah, the wetland line makes it confusing.
the stone wall is so that's that one, this one comes that way?
So that's the lot as it stands now, and
Okay.
the property line is like that.
It's gonna go like
So it's
that.
one small one, one larger one.
I knew that.
and both of these lots have areas on them that meet the septic requirements that we were asking for?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Frontage
yes. Yes, the frontage lot.
and area.
Yes, they meet the requisite area and lot shape factor.
Okay.
And they meet the requisite uplands area as defined by the definition for lot and zoning.
Okay. No historic elements along Buckley Road that need to be worried about? Need to be concerned about? Old stone walls? No?
Just 7-2, where, I know you say you have enough uplands and everything, where do you think you're gonna put the house there?
There isn't, so it's actually, so it's 3.
I mean,
There is no lot proposed, there is no house proposed on lot 7-3. There's only a lot proposed here.
Oh, so,
So-
is this all part of 7?
Yes,
Three.
so the lot right now goes like this,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
and we're making this property line.
So
So this
7-3 would be
is
this.
uplands here, and then 7-3 is this
Yeah.
big chunk of wetlands, upland.
Got it.
But this is not, we're not proposing to build on this lot. This is a steep hill right here, and the only way to get out here is to go through a pond.
Cross it, yeah.
There's a pond right here. So this is the actual buildable lot.
And you'd be building right on the railroad?
Yeah. And then this comes way up, there's a big steep slope here.
Okay,
We sign it?
do we have a motion to approve?
Do we need to approve A&R?
This is an A&R.
You vote and sign it.
Good? We have a motion to
I'll make a
approve the
motion.
A&R? Good. Do we have a second?
Second.
Good. All in favor? Aye. Good, the ayes have it.
We just doing the Mylars, we need the paper? We have signed paper? Or just the Mylar?
Just not- would you, yeah, do you have paper ones too?
She likes them signed. You like a paper one, second?
Yeah.
I like one in my file.
Yeah?
You can lead off.
There you go.
Hold on. Okay. You just need the letter.
That's not convenient, you should have started hearing on that way.
Yeah.
Back again.
You want this? You want anything? Okay.
So for those of you who were not here earlier, the 7:30 public hearing for Wellington Drive was a mistake. It's actually posted for 8:30, so it will be, we'll have that hearing at 8:30, not 7:30.
Been on a plane for the past day this morning just to come here to see you.
Hey,
Hey, that's dedication.
it is.
Good.
I'm gonna date it.
So the next thing on our agenda is the public hearing at Turkey Farm Estates. And that's at 8 o'clock.
What about 7:20, common discussion?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right.
That's us.
Matt's here.
We're here.
I take that back. The informal discussion at 7:20.
That's it. Small company.
Like a whole minute.
Are we ready?
Yeah, we're looking for a plan.
Ready? You have to just wait. I'm sorry.
So here we have
Time's
a
up.
formal discussion,
How come there's no city?
Cooper Farm.
Actually, it's
It looks like, do you all have a small copy of the plan in your package?
Yeah,
Does it
we
look
do.
like mine?
Yep.
I think it does, yeah.
The board, I'm Jennifer Platt, I'm the attorney for M&M Realty Trust, and working on a project for Cooper Farm, as well as there's an adjoining parcel of land from On the Rail Farm, which is, does your plan have the red line along the back showing the split between the two parcels?
Yeah.
Maybe it's on your plan. But we're here for an informal hearing, formal meeting. We have a open space concept plan that we'd like you to look at, as well as a 55 and over development on this property. You've probably heard through the grapevine that we've been meeting with the Board of Selectmen numerous times, trying to come up with a plan that we think works for the town. I think we're very happy with the plan we've come up with. We've gotten some very favorable feedback. We're going to be in front of the board again, Board of Selectmen in 2 weeks, hopefully to finalize and execute a host community agreement whereby we're going to be giving all of that green space to the town in exchange for the town waiving their right of first refusal and allowing us to close on a purchase earlier. What we'd like from the board is any input on the plan, any thoughts you might have, so as we're doing the final design, we can make sure that we're doing something that we think that you would think is as good a plan as we do. As you can see, there's going to be 2 means of access, egress coming from Great Road. We've tried to keep the roadways limited. It is a cluster development, so it maximizes the open space. We were able to shift all of the 55 and plus, that's that second cul-de-sac, back to the second parcel, which would allow us to keep the majority, it's actually 2/3 of the Cooper Farm as open space. Just to sort of imagine where the property lines are, it's the little cul-de-sac of 55 plus and the last 2 single-family home lots. That's the on-the-rail farm parcel, the rest of it is the Cooper Farm.
Right.
So we were able to keep just 23 single-family lots on the Cooper Farm. The rest of it's on the additional parcel.
Very good. And what size houses will these potentially be?
Defer to Matt on that.
20, 22, 24, 3-bedroom.
3 bedrooms?
For the affordables?
I'm sorry?
For the over 55?
No.
No, those are gonna
That's a
be
single.
Those are gonna be small. Those are gonna be the,
15 to 1,700 square feet.
yeah. If you've driven up Shaker Lane, which we all have, John Cantino's house is probably a very good representation of what we're gonna build there.
Nice.
The yellow house. We built that on Washington and Lincoln. We're gonna do a small version of it there.
This is plant a little bit older, and it has this septic, all as a single field
No, that's the
up
same,
front.
that's the same
Same
one.
plan.
But
Yeah.
it doesn't show,
It doesn't show the.
It doesn't
over
show the
50
property line.
It doesn't show also, it doesn't show.
show the back septic, because we're
For the
we're splitting that into
55.
2 fields.
Yes.
So just one difference from the plant that you see up
Right.
there, and you see one big
Showing a field here.
Yes.
leaching
Right.
field,
Yeah.
For the
septic
55.
system, and there's going to be a separate one for the 55 and over, so we can do 2 separate systems.
And these houses look like they have garages.
Yes,
right?
sir.
2-car garages?
2-car garages.
How about the 55 and over?
They are going to have 1-car garage unless.
They're all gonna just
Unless we have
oversized
upgrade.
1-car garage, that's it.
Okay. 2-story for the
It's gonna have
55 and over?
It's gonna have a, almost like a balcony on the second floor with a sitting area.
Hmm.
It's gonna have 1 bedroom on the first floor, and then 1 bedroom upstairs with a sitting area.
Any affordable component in any of this?
Yes, we have 25% affordable in the 55 and over.
So you have 6 of the 55 and over would be affordable, plus there is a lot right on Great Road up front, which we are giving that house to the town as well, and that's something that could potentially be used as affordable or a rec center or whatever town purpose the
That's
town
the
comes
white.
up with.
That's the area in
one.
white.
Yes,
Number 180?
yep, number 180. So that's an existing house as you're driving down Great Road, you see that there.
So I see there's a garage on there. That's not the barn that's falling down. There's actually a garage that's standing up, or is that the one?
No, that's like the old, if you look at it, it has the billboards on it for the president, and it's a old farmstead type building.
Okay, yeah, yeah. And any improvements gonna happen on number 180, or are you gonna turn it over
We're
to the
turning it
town?
right over to the town.
As is?
Yeah.
Any work along Great Road in terms of improvement, sidewalk?
We're doing sidewalks from our subdivision right down to connect to the sidewalks on Great Road that are in front of the daycare center.
So that'll be continuous then? from
Yes,
there to
sir.
the- From there to the common?
Yes,
Good,
sir.
Good.
We have walking trails around the perimeter where we can, with the exception of, there's a wet area behind lots, if I could see that.
There's a wet area that is behind,
Sort of it's in the southern corner.
yeah, that we can't get down through this bottom corner. But we'll have walking trails around it.
Potentially right through to Goldsmith Street.
I believe the host community agreement is either posted on the town website or will be within the
Not yet,
next
I
day
checked
or
with
so.
Lauren today, it's not up yet.
The town council may be making a few tweaks to that, but it should be up shortly. And that, one of the things that is stipulated are walking trails around the perimeter.
Great. Are there any restrictions on the open space that you've made agreements with the selectmen?
So the agreement is to keep it as open space, the front two parcels. The two on the right are to be used for agricultural. So those have been farmed up to date, and that's the intent, is to keep them that way. The parcel on the northerly parcel, that is for passive or active recreation. So could be a ball field or it could be agriculture. It's really leaving it up to the town, what is going to be the best use for the town. Our only stipulation was, well, we want it to be agreeable with the housing development behind it. So we've asked that there's no structures on it, no big bubble ball field, covered ball field, that sort of thing. But as long as
No
it's,
go-kart racetrack?
as fun as that might be, trying
No.
not to sold out.
There's
So
a
should
lot.
we have the decision the selectmen made before we decide anything, or so we know what we're supposed to do?
Yeah, I'll have to do that.
Shouldn't the selectmen be telling us what we're supposed to do? Be wrong.
Well, we can say anything we want if they,
Well, this
go
is,
back, I mean, if they get into a situation between themselves, it's about.
this is an informal discussion. They just want to hear if we have any input that we want to
What
have.
doesn't matter what we say until we know what the selectmen tell us what to do.
But for instance, if we wanted to make fewer affordable houses, you could tell them that, or fewer 55 and over, you could say that.
So the only deal that they've made with the selectmen, and correct me if I'm wrong, is the fact that they're not gonna pursue buying it, and they're gonna donate the land to the town, right? So they're walking away, and this is proceeding forward because they're gonna donate the land to the town. That's the host agreement.
Essentially, and,
Yeah.
I mean, we've agreed to, when you read through it, a long list of things that we're giving to the town, including the open space, including walking trails. They have this plan as well. This is the plan that we would like to do, but obviously, we're gonna be in front of your board asking for approval, and we wanna have the communication now. If you see anything that catches your eye that doesn't look doable, doesn't look appealing to you, we would like to hear that input now before we go and do full engineering.
Well, it's shared septic, right? I mean, that's
It
unique.
it is a way to sort of maximize the open space rather than having septic on every property. And by having two separate ones, we're able to avoid any sort of plant qualifications under the regulations.
Mayor, that's an issue, right? I mean, we don't currently allow for it.
No.
This would be the first development, well, either this one or Wellington would be the first development with shared systems.
There's nothing that prohibits it.
Well,
Providing all the lots
hold on a
are.
second.
It's allowed in Title V.
What
It-
happens with, it's not the, I'm not talking about the efficacy of the system, whether it's shared or individual, that doesn't. Ultimately, is that gonna be a town road? Is it obviously private?
It's gonna be private.
It's private. It'd be a
No,
pri-
town's never gonna take it.
We're gonna build it to town specs, but that's gonna be part of the OHC, the septic system.
No, I understand that, but you're gonna connect all that, run pipes under the road,
Yep.
right? So eventually, if the town takes it, goes back to what we talked about with 40B, right?
Yes,
It's highway departments have to deal with that pipe.
yes.
That's my point. So
And they do that
we need
with
input
over,
from
what's that road?
other town departments to
So-
figure out that.
Can you tell me, I'm sorry, and what, I just want to make sure I understand, and what is the concern from the town's perspective?
We don't have town sewer running on any of our roads. If we did, presumably the town would own the sewer. Town's not gonna own the sewer.
But we actually do have
We
town
do.
sewer running under the roads. It runs good mile from the middle school all the way to the high school.
Don't we
For
also
me?
have it on Grist Mill?
Yeah,
Not private.
correct.
Isn't that subdivision off the backside of Grist Mill conventional that is tied into the sewer treatment plant of the 40B?
That's correct.
No, that's my point. So now we just accepted that road.
It's the same thing. We also, there are two shared systems, one on Delia, one on Ivy.
That's right.
There are a number of shared systems around town. This isn't the first.
Yeah, that's
No,
right.
no, it's not the first, but my point is, it could be a municipal burden. It's a private sewer going under a public easement.
So if we keep these as private roads, does that,
That was the agreement we did
Eliminate
with McIntosh Lane, but now the town just accepted McIntosh Lane as a town road, so now
Oh,
we
yeah.
inherit.
So now you have it.
No.
Some tape.
Jim?
Jimmy?
Yeah, just to clarify, I had a concern when, and we'll just pick on Macintosh, when they were doing it, that I didn't want 8 or 10 sewer crossings that were gonna be private in a public way. So who would become the owner? So we worked with Macintosh, and they ran a forced sewer main on private property outside the town right of way, and they made either 1 or 2 crossings only. I think it
We
was
can do
one.
that.
So we'll,
We can do that.
That's all.
No, I
and
understand that,
that's
Jerry.
very helpful, thank you.
That's it.
Have you done any calculations about how many conventional lots you could get out of this? Because part of the open space is gonna hinge on how many lots you can get normally.
We have it right here.
Absolutely, and I
We
think we
have
have
the
the plan here. So this is exactly how many we can get. Actually, could we get more? We can get one more?
Yeah, why don't we, if they put affordable, not in the 55, but if they were to put affordable units in standard, then why wouldn't you give them more density for it?
we certainly entertain that.
Why do we need to include an affordable into it to give them more density, put more houses on it? Why do we want more?
And how many is it doing?
So we can maintain our 10% ratio. I mean,
Oh, that's,
this isn't even my problem, so think about it, right? You're doing, other developments going in, I mean, pretty soon you're gonna start eating away your margin on our 40B with these out. So you want to do it.
An affordable
This
is a
push
good
it,
thing.
as it stands right now, is gonna push us.
I'm sorry?
This gives us a lot higher ratio than 10% with the increase.
We also,
Yeah,
in our community host agreement, we own a building on Goldsmith Street that we came in front of you a long time ago.
That's right.
And that we have negotiated with the town as part of our community host agreement to have all of the units stay rental and give 25% there as affordable as part of our community
Additional
host.
25, you said?
If I can
25%?
see through that paperwork, I don't see any.
Because once again, how do we know this?
You've got wetlands everywhere, you haven't taken the wetlands out
We have, there is a proof plan that has been prepared. It doesn't have to be submitted tonight because we haven't submitted a preliminary subdivision. But we've already done the due diligence of preparing a proof plan that meets zoning both under the definition of lot for uplands area, lot shape factors, and contiguous lot area. So we have a proof plan that we've prepared. We wouldn't come with a proposal that we didn't think that we had that many units.
You're asking what roadblocks are ahead of us.
Yeah.
And all I'm saying is, when you come and do it definitively, you're gonna have to show us conventionally
Absolutely.
how many lots you can get, because you're gonna be asking for, you're gonna be asking for an open space plan. So we need to know how many, we need to know how many lots you can get, whether we think the open space is better than going to conventional.
Right.
And then you're gonna be asking for higher density because of the over 55, so we have to have a baseline for this project before.
That's not what he said.
I'm just saying, we have to start with the open space, so we have to start.
No, I understand that, with the 55 is.
They didn't say they didn't say, you're not asking for more density.
We're not asking
No,
for
we're not
that.
asking.
That's what I'm
I,
saying.
personally, I'd rather build the 39 house
The
lots and not do
55 is
this.
gonna count into the plan, as part of the open, as part of the total density of what you're getting.
they
I
are
think-
included,
yeah.
and the wetlands have been flagged, so that's been taken into.
So all I'm saying is we
Yeah.
need to, when we get started in the definitive process, we need to see.
Absolutely.
We have to run parallel
So it's just-
until we decide. open
It's a
space.
formality.
Just
That
doing-
being said, I'd like to say that a lot of the information you're providing tonight I heard only because I was at the selectmen meeting on Monday, but it's a lot of new information for a lot of people in this room. And I think being a planning board member and all of us sitting here, it might behoove the selectmen to maybe include us in some of the discussions going forward. So I'm saying it so it's on the record that.
Good luck.
Yeah, so Mary, maybe we should reach out to the.
So once
selectmen.
again, we don't get to make our mind up until the selectmen tell us what to do. It's kind of that's what it's looking like. They've made an agreement for downtown, to keep all those units as rental units from now till eternity.
In perpetuity.
Well, all right, so be
Same
it.
thing.
How did we know any of that? What's
We
that?
don't know anything.
All right, we don't know any of that.
But see,
So
now-
now we're asking questions about how about some affordable units here? Well, we're not doing that because we're doing that over there. Well, how are we supposed to know that?
No, there are affordable units here. There are 6 in the,
And the
In the
55.
55, but not in the conventional.
correct.
Right, that's,
Yeah, but-
so you,
But
that's
then-
that's what I'm saying, so you should think about putting it in the conventional as well and see if you can get more density, that's all I'm
See,
saying.
there's no requirement for us to put affordable in
You don't have to do it.
That's right.
In the
No.
conventional.
We're just, it's
I
just,
know.
we're just hearing
Right,
about it.
and-
But why,
That's why it's informal.
you want steak, you want chicken. I want chicken, well, I already made steak, you know? I'd rather know up front.
You don't want this plan, I'll build the 39
No, I'm not
houses.
telling you I don't want the plan, I just don't want to get it shoved down my throat or directed to me here
Well,
without
let you
having any
choose.
prior knowledge.
Here's the
Ian, we'll
knowledge,
let
here's
you
the
talk
prior
about
knowledge,
it
Pete.
now.
This is-
Now, whoa, here's the prior knowledge?
This is-
Great.
This is a
We're-
preliminary, this isn't
I
even
know it
a
is.
filing.
We're looking at something for the first time. This is our prior knowledge. Now,
The plan's gotta stand, the bottom line is the plan has to stand on its
Yeah.
own. When it
Which-
comes to us, it has to
Which we're
stand.
confident it will. I'm confident. They've
That's
done their
all.
due diligence, I'm confident it
And
will.
again, I don't have a problem.
It's just a negotiation process. We don't know this
I have
information.
a problem with the process.
However
They brought it
they-
to here.
however they came to this plan doesn't concern us. What we're concerned with is the subdivision laws in the town.
I will say, under the bylaws, it's recommended that we come to you and get your input and.
Yeah.
And thank you for doing that. No, we're glad you guys are
And that's what we
here.
want to
And
do. The,
we're hoping that you don't go for the 39. We're hoping that you stick to this plan.
The only unanswered question is, and Mark brought it up, is there a possibility of a component for maybe 1 or 2 affordable units on the base plan?
We've done our numbers, we've done what we can, we've offered the Goldsmith Street in good faith with talking to the negotiators of the town.
Yeah, but you don't even need to.
We have
you don't-
over 25% in this plan right here, over 25%.
Right, and you don't need to add any more affordable, I'm just asking the question. If it's possible,
All we do is take open space away now.
okay, that's the answer I needed. If it's not possible without sacrificing something else. Okay. Any questions, any more questions from the board?
Thank you for coming in.
Do we want to open it up to the audience, see if there's any questions from the audience? Hearing none? Well, thank you guys very much for coming tonight.
Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
When will we see you back?
Jennifer?
You know what?
After the selectmen?
It's gonna take some time.
Well, it'll be a little bit, but I think we're going to start working on our plan so we have a full submission, because you do want to see everything in the package, and we want to make sure we have it all complete for you. But our intent is to get rolling on this and get in front of you as soon as we can.
That's great. Will this meet our subdivision rules and regs, or had you planned to ask for waivers?
Are
on
there any waivers
Any of the
needed?
subdivision
Jim?
stuff?
None as of right now.
No waivers for
None as of right now.
number of trees, type of curbing, width of road?
Does none mean none? I was just curious.
Okay,
All I can answer is I have not done a full design on this, so I don't anticipate any at this point.
terrific. Great answer.
I like the looks of this, just to be clear.
I do too.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah. Can we have this posted on the website, Mary?
It's already, I think it's
The
already.
informal discussion, we'll see.
The drawing, yeah.
Sure. Where would you like it posted under?
Do we have a category for miscellaneous?
That one.
Great. All right.
So we're skipping 7.
You guys sharing computers now?
So now we get the next, we have Jerky Farm is the next one.
Or you could skip to the 509 Great Road.
Because these are published.
Fill me blank for that.
Okay, all right, we're gonna move to, move our 8:30 back to 8:15, 8:15. We'll do 509 Great Road.
Actually, I'm gonna withdraw that one, that we're not completely prepared for that tonight.
Additional self
But
storage.
we have an A&R on Dahlia if you need space for it.
Bring it on.
Ready to go.
I got a question for the board. I've used Mr. JJ here for the drawing designs for myself. Is that something I should recuse myself from?
Well, now you promise.
Wait, that's for you?
No, this has nothing to do with me. None of the stuff beforehand has anything to do with me. Until I
But
have
you've
hired.
engaged him in the business transaction?
Yes.
Has this business transaction had any effect on the business before us?
No, is he
Thank you for
currently
bringing
in
it to our
there?
attention.
It still bills me, so I'm pretty sure I don't.
Well, then you have a financial interest?
And not in this outcome of this, but I.
Do you like the
thought of
guy?
it. Huh?
Do you like the guy?
Do you feel
Could be a little
compelled
quicker.
We charged too
No, I
much?
don't.
Peter, that's like
This is something.
like saying you hire any one of us from this room.
All right,
From time to time.
just kidding.
Can we do this?
No,
I gotta get you something.
no conflict here.
So that just put me at the back of the list. So what did I really do?
All right, we have an A&R for, let's see, 27 Dahlia Drive. 25, 27. All right, who's gonna present?
Would a Cheryl vote for Matt Field, M&M, and Jonathan Mark is here, Matt Field, Mike Field both here. I have a whole file full, and I apologize, they cleaned up my office today, put floors in, and I can't find anything, and I guess that's still sitting there, but I'm gonna try to explain it here from the table if you will. These lots in front of you.
You wanna put the big one up here? Maybe they can,
This one's gonna be very complicated.
It is very complicated, but I may be able to simplify it, and like I said, I won't back it. I might have to
maybe the,
step it back and continue it till later, I'll run to the office with the packet.
Does this help you?
These lots were all 20 by 100 lots, they're, usually, and lots, they're all 20 by 100. The history of it is that the two houses on this configuration, 100 by 100, two houses were built in 1930 and 1935 respectively. Over time, the 20 by 100 lots got combined in different ways. They were not always under one ownership. But the most recent deed before M&M bought it was in the name of Fetterhoff. And he arbitrarily created two lots, 40 by 100 and 60 by 100. And that's what started the process. The Fields bought it with that configuration. They were taxed, the two houses were taxed as one under the assessor's map, but the two houses and the two lots were described as two different parcels in one deed.
when was that done?
So, well, the houses were built in 1935.
Yeah,
They were combined sort of arbitrarily in about 78.
okay.
And it was truly arbitrary. Somebody deeded to Fetterhoff a 20 by 100 lot that the house was sitting on, and he
Yeah.
added 20 with his own, and he made it 40 by 100 and then 60 by 100. Now, the Massachusetts statute 4181L says that it is not a subdivision if you take a lot on which two houses were standing prior to the time the subdivision control law went into effect, and if you divide that into as many lots as there are houses. That does not require any adherence to dimensional setbacks. And we just did it last month, if you recall, I did it on White Street with the garage.
That's right.
Where,
That's
on the
right.
corner of White Street. It was exactly the same thing, and what we did is we drew the lot line right down between the two houses. In this case, the Fields went to the building inspector and to the ZBA, and they said, we don't want to keep these two decrepit houses. We think it will improve the neighborhood if we build two new houses. And the building inspector requested that he give both houses a little more space and a little more side yard. And so what you have in front of you is the plan approved by the ZBA as to dimensional variances and setbacks to build two houses on the one lot, 100 by 100. What we're trying to do is divide that now with the lot line division that's allowable as not an A&R under Chapter 41, Section 81L. Just draw that lot line down the middle. In terms of, we think it will be better for both house owners to have their own land, their own lot, their own house. They'll take care of it better, we think, than if it's a condominium and you have one contributing and one not contributing. We think each house will pay their own upkeep, and it'll be nicer in the neighborhood. So we're asking for this plan to be approved almost exactly the same way we did White Street, the only exception being that we actually physically moved the houses because we were making a better configuration than the little 20 by 100 and
The lot line, does the lot line change from the 1978 configuration?
well, the answer to your question is yes, it does, because the lot lines were 20 by 100, 20 by 100, 20 by 100. And now I think JJ Jim is 43 on one side and 57 on the other, just to give each yard a little bit of.
All right, so you've taken two dilapidated buildings, you tore them down, you built two nice ones that are gonna draw in a little more money in tax revenue than they did before. They got a shared system. You moved them off the sidelines, which makes everything more pretty. I think it's all fine. I'm good with anybody else.
I'm not actually. These are the old Smadback lots, and they were only supposed to have one house on it. The fact that there's two on there, they're being
There was two
rewarded
there
for the
originally.
fact, well, no, there weren't. The
There
guy
were
just
two
went,
houses on there originally.
the guy just kept building on it, and he did it.
No, there were two
No, there were two separate houses.
But it was only supposed to have one on it. Okay, so we just.
That's not true. The Smadback lots were built as 20 by 100s,
Right.
and every 20 by 100 was allowed a house.
No,
So-
you had to have four of them.
No.
4 or 5 of them.
No, and in fact, the little one that he replaced was 20 by 100. There never was a requirement, I've done the titles on those,
Problem I
Mark, to
have
go
with
back
this
to
is if you
20.
start doing one of the, if you do this for your client, you have to do it for everybody else.
But-
No,
but
you
Mark-
can only
but
do
Mark,
it
we
if it
can't create our
predates
own
zoning.
rules.
You can only do it if it
But no, they're
predates zoning.
separating them now. So they're gonna have two of them, they used to be two together, now they're separating them, then you guys sell them as two separate entities, where they were one entity before.
No, they
Did
were
one
sold
person own
as two
both of them?
separate entities, they just both got sold into the owner right before that. Before that, from 1935 until about 1990, no, Federhoff didn't own it till the 90s. So from 35 to 90, it was two ownerships.
I say your objection is noted. Let's move the vote.
That's great. Do we have a motion?
Let's go.
I have a motion to accept the drawing as
I
drawn.
just,
Move to 43 feet and 57 feet with the setbacks on the yards as Julie has
Do we-
done as Jody. Anybody in favor?
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
no, I guess not.
Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Mark, you're making your own rules again.
I'm not making my own rules, this is your.
In his defense,
The,
what he's discussing though, in this case, I don't think it was gonna work.
Sherry, do you
anyway,
need this
just
signed?
no dead
Yeah, I'll
horse.
wait for it.
Is that once two people own one lot, if it was anything less than an acre, they became one lot. And that was a problem with up on Washington, where, what's-his-face bought the one building and owned the next one right next to the same business. What was that one? And,
Washington,
Yeah.
that one had adequate space, this doesn't.
no, it was the two lots together were not an acre lot.
Oh no, when he combined them back together.
That's right, when he bought the next lot over, he said, are you gonna keep going where it was supposed to be
Right.
200 feet of
And he
frontage?
couldn't do it because he combined the lots and he lost shared ownership of it.
Well,
That's the same thing as
no,
this.
that's still floating. I haven't heard that one come back to
They haven't
fruition.
come back for the second lot yet, have they? No, because they can't.
This improves the neighborhood.
It doesn't improve the neighborhood. They should have one house on it.
You know, that's your opinion, Mark.
Yeah.
Well, the way I looked at it is, they could have torn down one regardless and left a piece of crap there. All right? And then, so now they build a nicer house,
We're supposed
two
to-
nicer
We're
ones.
supposed to support the rules and regulations, we're not.
We're not supposed to create regulations.
Well, the building
creating
inspector already gave him a
You
building
certainly are.
permit to do what he's
No,
already
we didn't,
done.
he's waiting for us, they can't do it
They're
till
already
we.
built.
They're not.
They are
They
so.
were built before zoning went in. There was no
The
building
new
department.
houses are built.
How can it already be built? They had
I
to
buy them.
the ZBA had.
Wait a minute. Sherry, are they built? Are these buildings built?
Okay, we'll do
They're
that.
built. They're standing up. Walk
All right.
through them.
There's 2 new houses.
There are 2 new houses
Peter,
standing there.
Peter,
What?
we're gonna get on with business right
Already
now.
built.
Okay,
All right, I stand corrected.
we're gonna get on
5 minutes.
with business here.
5 minutes, you're gonna wait.
We have a 7:45 site plan review for 53 Air Road, Air Liquide. Are the presenters here?
Yeah.
Oh, we are, good. Well, look, we have a few minutes before we get on to our next. We actually have a half an hour before we get on to the next one.
No,
No.
8:30?
no. Turkey at 8.
Oh, Wellington Drive is at 8.
Eight
Okay.
Wellington Drive.
No, turkey's
Jerky,
I can't get there, the sets of plans are there. That's fine.
like I said.
Yes.
All right, Air Liquide.
Yes, good evening. I think we are fairly close to being done here. We've got our final site plan, all the changes that the peer review
That's great.
had it been incorporated.
Great.
Stormwater report is completed.
Great.
All the items on there have been addressed as well. This is the final site plan. Hopefully we get a chance to put it up on the screen, but in a sense, it's essentially the same way as we looked before overall. Traffic pattern, we're taking a loop around, we've addressed the lighting, we've addressed the noise issues that came up the last time we were here. So unless the board has any specific questions, we're good.
Do we have the ability to put it on the screen, Mary?
No,
Okay.
I take it to.
With all the things that we noted before, I looked at it earlier, I guess the biggest question was, one was the way the trucks went from one to the other onto the pavement, so that it wasn't chewing up the existing road.
Right,
That
we've
was-
got, let's see here, C4. Traffic plan.
And actually, Green is here for, as well.
Yes.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you? Good.
So, Will, are you all set? Because if not, we'll hear from our
Sure.
engineer.
Yes,
Absolutely.
So,
Record.
Tom McGill from Green International. So, as was stated, most of the comments have been addressed. Really, they've addressed all the letters in the comments. There were some that we highlighted in yellow that were basically to make note to you folks, or something that we needed a determination from the board on. So, one of those that we just wanted to make note of was the permit regarding the noise, and just that the applicant shall comply with condition 3 of the master plan, major commercial or industrial use permit, and the water resource district permit approvals, which describes conditions for compliance with noise level requirements. That's number 5 on our letter. Number 7, we deferred to the fire department to comment on adequate access to each structure for fire and service equipment. And also there are 2 relatively minor nature, 14 and 15, stormwater, checklist for stormwater report indicates the SWIP will be submitted prior to disturbances, so that will need to be followed through with. And also illicit discharge statement will need to be supplied as well.
Okay.
Okay, so those are all addressed in conditions 1, 2, and 3. I'll add the IDGE as condition number 4.
Stormwater, yep.
Peter, your question about driving the pavement onto the roadway, they fixed that.
We've elevated it, so now it's at the same level, trucks won't be kicking any debris off. I mean, the overall pattern we talked about before, that we basically turning this into a big one-way, trucks come in here, offload or unload, and then back out. And actually, it's different for each truck with a liquid hydrogen and the gases. I mean, they do the same loop around, but then one comes in this way to drop off, and then the next one, let's see, show the next one. Yeah, to fill at the different depots. Same thing, but different functions.
Very good, and the radiuses work?
Yes.
And Maren, did you say these issues are all incorporated into the conditions?
Yes. The conditions on the aquifer and water resource and the major commercial use, industrial use special permit, remember, those were quite lengthy, there was a lot of conditions on that. We're down to just 4 conditions on the site plan.
Okay, so we're gonna, let's see, I'd entertain a motion to approve the site plan review with the conditions as noted in the draft.
Do you want this?
I'll make the motion.
Anybody, any neighbors?
Yeah, we should. Are there any neighbors here
I have no neighbor.
for the liquid?
Thought you lived alone. This is not.
Are there any neighbors that would,
His mother, my mother, both.
that have
mothers.
interest in the Air Liquid station discussion? Seeing none?
I second
I
it.
have no
All
question.
right, we have a motion to approve the site plan review in a second. Who seconded that? Good. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? You have your site plan review.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Great.
Good evening.
Good work. Do we need to sign that, Maren? Okay.
Let's try it out.
Just one? No, I don't like it.
Maren needs one.
Why do you care?
All right.
It's only
Now, 8 o'clock, Turkey Farm Estates.
Richard, we have an issue that we might want to think about before we allow them to open. We're gonna have a new member in a month,
Yes.
so should we really open it? Knowing full well that we have a new member who's gonna be voting on it, or do you have lame duck Jerry over here, do you want to?
I think his words carry all the weight of anybody.
But he's not gonna get the vote.
I'm not gonna be, my vote's not gonna really count.
Huh?
He won't be around, no, he won't be around for the end.
It means to me, Councilman.
I appreciate that, I do.
Sherry has the,
Your admin suggested, Mr. Chair, that we could open tonight and do a presentation tonight. It has gone out to peer review. They're going to have to go back and forth with peer review. She suggested that after the new member is seated, what we do on the next meeting is we dismiss and reopen, reapply, and open it again without new fees. And I think that works for
Without
us.
prejudice?
Pardon me? Without,
we'll do a brief overview and that'll be it.
I didn't hear him,
A
sir.
brief overview and that'll be it.
Tonight?
No, later.
Well, I think they're gonna go a little further than a brief overview, but yes, essentially.
Good. The rest of the members of the committee's okay with that? Of the board, okay?
I don't have a problem.
Good. All right, if the presenters are okay with that?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board.
We gotta read it first.
Oh,
Wait. Public hearing, definitive subdivision, open space development special permit, Durkey Farm Estates. The town of Littleton Planning Board will hold consolidated public hearings on Thursday, April 14th at 8 p.m. in room 103 of the Town Hall. Sorry, I forgot my glasses, folks, so bear with me. At 37 Shattuck Street to consider the application for approval of a definitive subdivision plan, a special permit for open space development and scenic road review, all known as Durkey Farm Estates, located at 260 Foster Street at Grimes Lane pursuant to the subdivision control law, Mass General Law, Chapter 41, Section 81K-81GG, and Mass General Law 40, C40A, Section 9. Sections 173-93 through 173-118, open space development of the Littleton zoning bylaw, and Chapter 143, scenic roads of the town code. The project site for each application is identical and is a portion of 260 Foster Street located on the easterly side of Foster Street, north of Grimes Lane. The project is shown on Assessor's Map R8, Parcel 15. The portion of the parcel located north of Grimes Lane, parcel 13G and 13F, and the unnumbered parcel between map R8, parcel 13D and 13E. The definitive open space plan shows 30 new lots and 4 open space parcels with 3,830 feet of new roadway. Property owner Sheila Smith, trustee of Agnes E. Durkee Revocable Living Trust and of the Sidney P. Durkee Revocable Living Trust and K-Land LLC. Applicant, Grimes Road LLC. Applications and plans can be viewed at the planning board in the town clerk's office during their business hours or online at the planning board page of the town website, www.littleton.org. Any person interested or wishing to be heard on the proposed applications and plans should appear at the time and place designated or provide written comments to the planning board office prior to the closing of the public hearing.
Well said. Well said. We are open. Open for business.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, for the record, Joe Pesnola from Hancock Associates representing Grimes Road LLC in their application for definitive subdivision for an open space special permit, and at the, I believe the next hearing, the scenic roads application. This subdivision was the subject of a series of informal meetings with your board and then a series of preliminary subdivision meetings with your board. I believe we fully vetted the conventional subdivision plan to come to the yield. We then reduced the lots and ended up at the 30 lots that you see today. The configuration of the subdivision is much the same as you saw it when we last met at preliminary. We really haven't made any changes. Primary access will be off of Foster on a road called Balsam Lane, which is about 1,000 feet long. Then two subsequent roads interior to the site that connect to Grimes Lane, Fraser and Spruce, all known as Durkee Farm Estates. It is 30 lots. The lots range from 24,000 square feet all the way up to 5 acres. 5 acres is the farm lot, which is lot 1, which will have the existing house and barn, and the 5 acres that represent the corner of Foster and Grimes, as we had discussed during the preliminary hearing. We do have 3,800 feet of road. We are making some changes to topography, but trying to work with the existing fields that are out there. Far back northeast of the lot is wooded, and we would take as little trees as possible to get that roadway in the end of Spruce Street and the lot development there. We have presented a full traffic report, a full stormwater report, a full environmental impact analysis. That has all been submitted to your board and your peer review consultant, Green International. We are in receipt of a comprehensive review from Green, and we're in the process of going through that, making revisions to the plans. And we expect within the next week to 10 days we'll have a comprehensive response to all of their comments, both from ourselves and from our traffic engineer, MDM, and a set of revised plans. In addition to that, we will probably be reducing the waiver list that we have, so we'll put that most of that discussion on the waiver list off until the next meeting, so we will, when we present you that reduced list and our full responses to the Green peer review. We do feature, this is a 44-acre parcel, and we do feature 4 open space lots totaling 16 acres. We have included the wildlife corridors that we talked about during preliminary that connect some of the interior wetland features to the peripheral site and the other wetlands on site. We will have to file a notice of intent with Conservation Commission for work in the buffer zone. We've got a small wetland impact for the Balsam Lane roadway. It's 900 square feet of wetland, and we'll be proposing a replication for that and going through that process in the very near future. We have looked at, again, a comprehensive traffic study. We looked at site distances on Foster. We can achieve those with the removal of some vegetation and a few trees, and that will be the subject of the scenic roads hearing coming up at a later date. At this time, I'd like to just have Brian Goudreau from my office go over just the overall scope of the stormwater for the project, and I think at that point we can maybe talk about one of the waivers that we would like to get some dialogue on with the board for tonight.
Great. For the record, Brian Goodrow with Hancock Associates. So, as Mr. Pesanola said, we went through quite an iterative preliminary process where we got a lot of feedback from both this board and the peer reviewer with respect to what they wanted to see. We reached out to the highway department and various town departments to see what they wanted to see in terms of and during the preliminary design, we went with an open drainage system and a series of infiltration basins to mitigate all the impervious areas from both the houses, driveways, and roadways. After discussions with the town, we came to the conclusion that a closed drainage system is really more appropriate. So now we have a series of catch basins. We've done a full drainage design and limited our stormwater management facilities down to 5 infiltration basins. And those are strategically located to essentially mirror the drainage patterns that are out there right now. Again, as Mr. Pesanola said, what we tried to do is work with the existing topography of the site and not really create these big depressions or these big mounds. And these 5 infiltration areas are essentially just very, very shallow sloping basins, so they're not going to have that visual impact of just a big hole or a pool of water. Green has reviewed that to the degree that they meet stormwater management standards, so we're fully compliant with Mass DEP regulations with respect to infiltration, recharge, treatment, and making sure that there are no off-site impacts. That is about the scope of stormwater.
Thank you. Just with regard to the Greens peer review, we're by and large in agreement with all of their comments. We will be providing the additional information and plan revisions to address that and a point-by-point response to that. But we found it to be a thorough review, and again, we're mostly in agreement with just about everything that's in there. We're also in receipt of correspondence from DPW tonight, or just today, and again, a quick review of that. We are in agreement with the comments that are made there, and we'll incorporate any changes that come out of that with regards to plan revisions and include that in our response letter. The one waiver that I would like to talk about tonight is the quantity of trees. Under your subdivision regulations, we're required to have 1 tree per 40 feet on both sides. What I'll do is I'll have Brian speak to exactly what we are proposing and some discussions that he had with Public Works tree warden with regards to that.
So what we're proposing is we're proposing to stagger trees kind of at variable intervals anywhere from 60 to 80 feet throughout the actual subdivision. Balsam Lane is an access road. You know, we don't really want to put a lot of trees on there as opposed to just leaving it open to go along with the open space in the fields. Now, the reason why we don't necessarily want to put them every 40 feet on both sides of the road is depending on the species, you think about the mature canopy. The canopy of a large oak tree or a maple is going to be larger than a spacing of 40 feet. It's going to create kind of this closed off feeling in the roadway. So by staggering them, 60 to 80 feet, you still get the open feel of a field. I mean, it's essentially a field right now. We want to maintain that scenic vista, if you will. The second part is not just of the waiver, is not just the spacing. It's also the caliper and the height, and it's very specific within the regulations to have a 3-inch caliper and a 6-foot height nursery stock being planted. It's a big subdivision. We are proposing a lot of trees. We'd like the ability to be able to work with a town agent to select species and nursery stock that's readily available, so we're not trying to search for the various plantings.
Another point to the caliper is sometimes on the species, the larger calipers don't survive as well. And because they've been in the nursery for so long to get to that caliper, they're not as viable. Sometimes the smaller stock will actually do a better job, have a better chance of adapting to the new environment that they're placed in. But I think the main thrust of our waiver is the fact that we do have a very unique site, and that it's a large open field. The wetland area, the main wetland area on the western portion of the site is just a broad wet meadow. That will remain a broad wet meadow, and we want to just foster those.
How many acres is
those
that?
vistas.
The broad, wet meadow. How many acres?
Well,
is that?
we're just looking at it on the screen there. The farm lot is 5 acres. It's about the same as, maybe a little smaller than that. So the upper portion of that is probably 3.5 acres. And then the lower portion gets narrower. So it's, in total, it's probably 5, but we could get you an actual number.
See that, please? So it's possibly 6 acres as wetlands, out of the entire 44?
We have that
We don't have the actual wetland number. You're talking about the wetlands across the entire parcel?
Correct.
Yeah, I don't have that readily available.
We'll get it.
Thank you.
And the trees, I've heard that said before, that the bigger caliper has less of a life expectancy than a smaller caliper, and they catch up with each other in a matter of 3 or 4 years. What's the size caliper and height tree that you'd be shooting for?
I think it's going to be dependent on the species with regards to matching the species and the nursery stock that's available.
Okay.
We can certainly put together a list of the trees that we'd like to use and the calipers that's recommended by the nursery.
Good. And Jimmy, do you have anybody from your end that would be interested in going over to nursery to select the trees?
I have a couple people on the shade tree committee, the landscape architects.
No, that'd be. Do you think they would mind participating in this, the selection of the trees?
No, they would probably do that.
Good. All right.
We can provide a list and then have
Yeah.
them review that.
Well, the species of the tree could also determine the spacing.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
whether it's a broad canopy or a narrow canopy.
So let's do that the way you suggested. When it comes time to pick the trees, we'll work with some agent from the town to make sure that we have the right time for the right place. Yeah.
Maybe you should at least send us a list of the trees that you consider, what kind of trees.
We can do that.
Yeah, as part of the process.
Yeah, and the nursery and the, so they can go and work with your guy, picking them out, tagging them. Let's see. I think I'm all set. I'm ready to hear from Green. You guys are all set?
Yeah, we're all set.
Good. Any questions from these guys?
No.
How about Green?
Certainly. Regarding the caliper and the spacing of the trees, based on our experience, the trees and the regulations are more of what Mass DOT would put if they were putting up trees, but that's certainly something that could be changed. There was no plant list provided with the plans, so that was another one of our comments there. So it could be that the plants that they propose would be better for a bigger spacing, but we just didn't have that for comparison, so that is one thing that we've asked for.
We can incorporate that as a condition. They'll work with the town on selection and so forth.
As far as the rest, would you like just kind of highlights of the letter?
Please.
Sure. As far as, I'm sorry?
Reader's Digest.
Reader's Digest. The Balsam Lane, that's the street that comes off of Foster Street. That was listed under Phase 2. However, construction vehicles, it was stated that any construction access would go through Balsam Lane. So we suggest that be included as part of Phase 1, as they'll need that access instead of using Grimes Lane. They are proposing to use Contech stormwater separators, which do have higher maintenance involved with them that the town highway department will have to take over eventually once they accept the road. So we would suggest making sure that the highway department and the board approves of those.
Or not.
I'm sorry?
Or not.
Or not, correct. The plans, this is kind of minor, but the plans are at a 1:40 scale, and the regulations do require 1:20. So if that change were desired by the board, now would be the time certainly to make that change.
What makes the most sense? You've seen the plans?
The plans at 1:40 works.
Then we keep it there.
It's adequate for the site.
Unless there's any objection, good.
Horizontal alignment information for us to determine whether or not the curves meet Mass DOT regulations and standard engineering practice weren't on the plans, so we asked that that be included. The cul-de-sac on Spruce Street, the end of that, does not meet what's required in the regulations. Typically, what they show there is kind of just a centered circle, and what's required on the subdivision regulations is a asymmetric circle. So we would ask that the fire department and also the highway department would show get around that. The sidewalk layout, at times the pedestrians would be forced to cross the street kind of mid-block, not at an intersection. So we've asked to see if they can revise that, that increased pedestrian safety. If a pedestrian has to just cross the street, they're more likely to just stay on one side of the road, walk on the street, rather than go to the other side of the sidewalk. There are no proposed easements shown for any of the drainage structures or basins. They do fall outside the right-of-way, so those will need to be shown and provided. Slope easements also were not shown. It appears that one is needed at the end of Balsam Lane where it meets Foster Street. They have a large stone slope there that will potentially need to be maintained over time. Pavement course will be needed on Grimes Lane. There's a portion that will need to be widened, or at least a clear width provided for emergency vehicle access. So to make sure that that portion of Grimes Lane is meets current standards and won't deteriorate. This is something we've deferred to the board on, but streetlights, whether or not you guys have a desire for those, particularly at intersections within the subdivision. Stormwater report comments, it was pretty minor comments, nothing really major. They met the regulations there.
When, back up, when you talk about streetlights, you're talking about sidewalk lights?
Or on the poles, you know, just street lighting at the intersections is typically a good idea. Better, you can see pedestrians better.
So not red, white, and green, red, yellow, and green. You're talking about white lights?
No, just white lights.
Yeah.
As far as the traffic study was concerned, the traffic study looked at a 5-year period starting in 2016, but the subdivision likely won't be built and fully built out for some years to come. So we recommend that that get extended out, and also Mass DOT has revised their regulations stating that a 7-year future volumes be looked at as opposed to the old 5-year volumes. Also, I know there was some concern about the potential development of the K parcel. We looked at that, looked at a potential size of that, but without knowing full details, it's hard to fully know what those impacts could be. So what we recommend is that this project be kind of incorporated as a background project if the K parcel were to be developed. In any situation, it would still be a moderate traffic study should both projects be incorporated as one project. And then also we recommend looking at potential sidewalk access down Foster Street to the MBTA commuter rail station. And that's
all good comments. Great comments. Any Any comments from the board? Done?
Mr. Chairman, I just asked for some input on streetlights, if it's something that the board wants. Is it just a safety issue, or is it something that?
The recommendation seems to be for safety, is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
So we'll work with Green to come up with a streetlight. As far as
Before we leave that, Jimmy, does the town have any town standards for lighting at intersections?
Or any other
In terms of
spacing?
In terms of bulbs, so that the bulbs
Well,
are the same?
most of the existing streets have streetlights on the utility poles, which are switching over to LED, and most intersections, they try to have a light. When budgets got tight, they shut a lot of lights off, then started turning them back on over time for complaints. A lot of it's more, if you have that subdivision, it could be very dark in there with nothing in there.
Yeah.
We have to work with Wilton Light on, because whatever you put in there, the town ends up paying the electric bill.
Yeah. We want to make sure the bulbs are the same that the town supplies.
Yeah, they'll be switching to LEDs to whatever. Most of the stuff is a black fiberglass pole with some type of fixture on top.
Apple Dior has lights at the end of every driveway, basically, the homeowners. Is that workable with, does that, do you like that
If they
idea?
don't turn them on, then you have no light, but it's...
All the on timers?
So Joe, we could, just say something like coordinate with the town when that time comes,
that works.
the town highway department.
Yeah, we can look into the individual residential lights, light posts down at their front yards, and put them on timers so that they don't have control of them, or put them on,
Motion detectors?
not motion detectors, but, yeah,
Dust to dawn.
sensors.
I'd also recommend we highlight that with the police department, see if they have any inputs, any specific concerns on the intersection.
Good.
Follow up with that. With regard to the sidewalk on Foster, number one, if you look at the layout, a pedestrian to go to the train station, I don't think is going to walk up Balsam to Foster and then down Foster to there. They're going to go down Grimes and get to
over.
the station there.
Yeah.
The second point is, as you know, there's been some negotiations with the developer on the K piece to the north, and some commitments to a corridor, a contiguous corridor along Foster that is also supposed to support some kind of a future trail through there. So we'll continue to work on that, but we think those are more viable and more safer options for pedestrians than to, and just realistic options than to send them up Foster.
What's the consensus of the board? I agree. I agree with that.
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
Well, the only problem is, we still have to look at something to do about Grimes Lane. Now you're gonna have pedestrians and traffic on that road that's barely gonna, I'm not even sure it's gonna support the cars that are gonna be going in there for the houses, so.
Grimes Lane?
Grimes Lane, yeah, take a look at it, look how narrow it is.
You're talking,
Grimes Lane.
Again, we'll have to address the sidewalk issue either on Foster down and Grimes Lane or just Grimes Lane.
I'd say
Decision will have to be made.
say just Grimes Lane at this point.
At this point,
You want to
that's
start any
feasible
roads
of the
planned
two.
for Grimes Lane?
No.
None.
Well, the fire department wants to make sure that they've got 20 feet between Fraser and Spruce, so that they can make that loop back up into the site. Right now, the state passed a new fire regulation in January that requires fire lanes to be 20 feet.
Yeah.
Prior was 18. So we'll look at that,
Now is-
16, 18, somewhere in that
That's the
range.
NFPA one.
We might have to put a little bit of pavement just in that segment.
But this is a different place.
But we'll also, we'll work with the open space people to talk about that trail system. Maybe we could start to build a piece of that trail system so that the walkways are more meandering, and we're not going to upset the two stone wall, very nice country lane that Grimes is, and we don't want to end up putting too much down there. Maybe we could do it up on the high side of the walls through the open space.
Right.
And get them down
A
there.
nicer path.
Yeah.
Sounds reasonable. Just a quick comment I wanted to make on the drainage plan. You guys identify the wildlife access corridors. Thank you. I'm a big fan of that. One of the notes that Mr. Clyde made was, his comment is, who's gonna maintain those and what are they? In other words, how are they? My question or even suggestion would be, these are obviously on a parcel of land that a landowner is gonna have. And that if we could just deed restrict it, that no structure goes on that wildlife corridor. You know, no sheds, no pools.
I think that's what we envisioned, is that there would be some kind of a restriction that kept those what they needed to be.
No tree stands.
Natural.
What's a tree stand?
Holds them up. Let's stick against them so they don't fall over.
That's what he learns on those Thursdays that he doesn't come here.
When he's checking out the wildlife? Very good. Any questions from the board? Any further comments? Any questions from the audience? Oh, we do have a question. Great. Your name, please?
Deb Jacobs.
Yeah.
What is the Cape parcel? Can you show us what that is on the map?
I think it's part of this plan. Cape parcel's to the north, in here, and some of it comes down around the side.
Okay.
Is it go to Harwood? All the way to Harwood?
Don't think so.
How many acres is that approximately?
40, 45, 43.
Very good. Another question?
Yeah, I'm Rich Vignoni, I live in 242 Foster.
Yeah.
And the field is right behind my house and have an open view. You commented that the trees are going to be on the other roads, but not Balsam. So I'm going to be looking right out at Balsam, which is the closest thing to my house. Is there going to be, some landscaping along the road or whatever?
At the last meeting, we talked about some sort of screening between you and that road. That hasn't changed, has it?
No, but we can be happy to meet with him and work a plan out.
Good,
for
yeah.
some screening.
Okay, I wasn't at the last meeting, I apologize for that. And could you also repeat what you said?
Yeah, at a former meeting, we talked about screening for the neighbors.
Oh, okay.
And so they will meet with you and arrange something that works.
Excellent.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Good.
Okay. A couple more, just my own naivete. The open space, is that just like left as is, or is it manicured or anything?
Generally, no.
Allowed to go to pot.
It's in its natural state and it's the way it stays.
We'll be somewhat restricted, and there's a lot of it that is within the buffer zone of the Conservation Commission. We have formulated a maintenance plan for it. It has been routinely paved.
Excuse me, he can't hear you because you're facing the front.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
We haven't formulated a full plan for it. It will be something that will be turned over to the homeowners association for their maintenance. There'll be a desire for the homeowners association for it not to become a jungle, but we are restricted in what we can do within the wetlands and within 100 feet of the wetlands.
It's a combination of invasives and quaking hazards, which is very important. So, okay.
So that would continue, right?
What's that?
They'll just continue to hay.
Yeah, they'll hay bale a delineation between the work area and the wetlands.
No, I
Is that what you're talking about?
No, the open space, the meadow,
Yes.
is currently hayed. Somebody comes in to haze it now.
No, they don't.
They don't. So who mows it?
The admission.
Your name,
That's what
please?
I'm asking.
Oh,
Turkeys come in and when they had the trees, they cut it down and they left it there. It's never hayed, it was never baled or anything, they just cut it and left it there. So there's no trees anymore, so they're not doing that and that was it. And it's really too wet to bale, to go in there. When they cut it, they cut where they could.
So nobody mows it now?
No, when they had the goats in there,
Goat?
sheep, they had the sheep, the guy, he did that so that the grass could be edible. But before that, nothing was done to that property other than where the trees were.
So nobody's gonna maintain that.
Nobody's gonna maintain it, that's right.
So
Somebody
that'll go-
was just gonna maintain it, till they
That'll
said
go.
nobody's gonna maintain it.
We're gonna come up with a plan that's acceptable to the Conservation Commission. We'll present it to the planning board for inclusion in the open space special permit. There's gotta be a plan for, there's gotta be a vision for what we present to the buyers. And then there's gotta be a plan that the buyers, as homeowners association, have to incorporate. And that has to be acceptable to this board and the Conservation Commission.
That sounds like it answers the question.
Yeah.
Sounds like a can of
Good.
worms.
Any other questions? Yes.
One last one.
Okay.
The 5-acre lot that has the farmhouse on it, could that potentially be subdivided sometime in the future?
No, it can't, but the open space special permit will restrict that because the open space special permit is tied to the yield plan. The yield plan set the number of lots, so that would be double dipping.
Yeah, see, they can't. Do we have another question? Yes.
Yeah, Ed Mish, Grimes Lane. Where is there gonna be gas in that facility? The houses, are they gonna have, is gas gonna be piped in?
Yes,
Okay, and water will be brought in?
water will be brought in, yes.
Which roads are gonna be developed? Is Grimes Lane gonna be dug up for gas and water, or is it Balsam?
No, it's our intent right now to bring water in from Balsam, from Foster, and to loop it through the site, but not to do any work, utility work on Grimes. There may be a desire by the water department to leave a stub down towards Grimes for future looping, but it's not in our current, doing utility work on Grimes is not in our current plan.
And one more question.
Sure.
Who will own the open space?
Right now, we envision it to be owned by the homeowners association.
So they'll be paying taxes on that as wetland indirectly?
I believe so, pretty much as a group.
Okay.
Any
Oh,
further?
one more question.
There we are. Go ahead.
There's a couple dilapidated buildings on that open space, at least on the Littleton side of Grimes Lane, not the Route 2 side. Are those going to be demolished and taken away, or are they just going to be left there?
Those are historical buildings.
No.
Well, they've been there for as long as I remember, that's history.
Mr. Durkee built basically both of those.
I'm having a little bit of fun, that's all.
But one is dilapidated and the other one is okay. I mean, you could use it for something, but who is going to, are they going to be taken down or what?
They'll be taken down if they're on the open space. If they're on the 5-acre lot, we haven't formulated a full plan. We think the house is in disrepair, and we may tear that down and build a new house for sale. We're definitely going to try to save, or we're going to save the barn because the barn is in good shape.
Great. Any further questions?
I thought of one more. There's a lot 1 on the diagram which doesn't appear there. Are there plans to develop that, or is that sort of in the background?
That's the farm.
That's the farm.
That's a
Yeah,
5-acre
and-
farm lot.
And we had a lady in the background. Yes. Your name, please?
Martin Peak, 65 Grimes
Yeah.
Lane. There is I believe, it was used for a tank for to store oil and gas.
It was a gasoline tank that Mr. Durkee used to fill his tractors with and his trucks.
I think
That's
that's a
possibly
hazard.
still there, possibly.
Okay, thank you for your input.
Can't swear on it, but I never seen it taken out.
Thank you for your input.
It's on the Route 2 side of Grimes Lane.
All right, any further comments from the audience? Hearing none? Let's see, I'll take a motion to continue the hearing.
I'd like to make a motion to continue here.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second to continue the hearing?
To the next meeting, May 14th, 7:30, is that what I have on the?
I thought it was at 12. No, the 12th.
I'm sorry, Thursday, May 12th.
Oh, can't do
You're
it. I thought we changed that to the first week.
No, not next month.
Not next month.
And that's also gonna be joint for the scenic road.
Scenic Road, yeah.
No, I don't think I'm.
Do you need new certified notices?
Peter, just because it's your birthday, you can come here to celebrate your birthday.
Oh, good.
We can
I'll
sing
make
it.
you a cake.
So we have a motion and a second, all in favor? Aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Opposed?
We'll see you in a couple of
I
weeks.
oppose the May 12th meeting. Just to let you know.
The ayes
What
have
kind
it.
of cake do you want?
Huh?
What kind of cake do you want?
The ayes have it.
Cake?
All right.
Usually coffee cake with walnuts in it. You know, not just, I mean, it's in a bun cake. My mother used to make the best one.
Okay, Peter, you're the one who wants to keep things on track here, right?
What are you trying to say?
Hey, Maren, I get two Wellington drives here.
That's why I had to make an extra one. I couldn't find it.
One has like a 3-line action item, the other has like a 5-line action item.
That's what happens when I change my mind.
Okay. One starts with, oh, I know why. Maren, this is hers. Yeah, that's hers. Maren, this is yours.
I don't care. It's fine. I know you leave.
So why you care?
Because I do.
Okay, Wellington Drive, I got it.
I'll be right back.
That's it.
Go open space.
No, we didn't. It got swamped, but we're gonna get everywhere.
What was this, Exodus?
Put it crossing some. Good thing they can't hear me.
Uh-oh.
Yes, I thought I recognized you. How are you?
All dressed up.
Oh my God.
It's good
Did I hear that? Did I hear that?
I know that's foreign to your ears, but what the heck?
What?
What he said.
Oh.
That's what he heard.
Thank you for asking.
What's this one?
Is this on? Something after this?
Why did, never mind.
Go ahead, what?
I'm gonna go.
No, I don't need to look here, no.
Public hearing, definitive subdivision and open space development special permit, Wellington Drive. The Town of Littleton Planning Board will hold a consolidated public hearing on Thursday, April 14th at 8:30 PM in room 103 of the Town Hall at 37 Shattuck Street to consider the application for approval of the definitive subdivision plan and a special permit for open space development known as Wellington Drive, located near 120 Goldsmith Street pursuant to the subdivision control law, Mass General Law C-41, Section 81K-81GG, and Mass General Law C-40A, Section 9, and Sections 173-93 through 173-118, Open Space Development of the Littleton zoning bylaw. The project site for each application is identical and is located off the easterly side of Goldsmith Street near 120 Goldsmith Street, and shown on Assessor's Map U-11 parcel. 61, approximately 21.3 acres of definitive open space plan shows 6 new lots, 1 open space parcel, and 2 additional parcels with 500 feet of new roadway. Property owner and applicant, W.D. Chisholm, President, On the Rail Farm Company, Incorporated. Applications and plans can be viewed at the Planning Board and Town Clerk's office during their business hours or online at the Planning Board page of the town website, www.littletonma.org. Any person interested or wishing to be heard on the proposed application and plans should appear at the time and place designated or provide written comments to the planning board office prior to the closing of the public hearing. Thank you, sir.
Very good, very good. So we have a Wellington Drive subdivision. Who's going to be speaking for the
Good evening.
proposers? Your name, please?
My name is Ian Rubin. I'm from Markey and Rubin.
Okay.
And what we're presenting tonight is a continuation from the definitive subdivision we did, which was a standard subdivision, and now we've converted that to an open space development. This is the cover sheet you're looking at on the screen. You can see the green space here is the open space. Parcel B is an additional parcel that is to be exchanged for open space on Cooper Farm. So essentially, it's open space with this subdivision we're looking at. Then there's this cul-de-sac you're looking at over here is a slightly shorter version of the one that came with the standard subdivision, about 100 foot shorter. And we've cut it back from a 22-foot to a 20-foot road, seeing that this will be a private road. These are the 6 houses, 6 lots. This is open space, so we're talking about cluster housing here. Parcel A, which is right here, this is where the septic and drainage go. If I change this, I'll show you the site plan. We can get a little more detail from there. Okay, here's the site plan. This darker green around the outside is upland that's not being developed. The lighter green is upland that is being developed. So the limit of work boundary is right between these two colors. We have one common driveway here accessing 2 of the houses. Every other house has its own driveway. There are there's catch basins and manholes collecting the water here, draining down to a forebay that sits right here. It takes the water down to a detention pond, a retention pond down here. The septic, there's a common septic, and the lines for the septics come down this way down to a tank and a pump to dose the leaching field. We have done detailed calculations on this, and they have not been submitted at this point. This is also done by stormwater management. They meet stormwater management standards. The impact study that was done for the definitive is very similar to this. It'll have to be modified for this. Otherwise, I mean, that's pretty much where we are in this, with this open space development.
Are you donating the open space to the town?
Yes.
Except for the park?
Well, let's put it this way. If Cooper does go forward, then that parcel B would not be donated to the town. It will be with open space of Cooper property. If Cooper does not go forward, then that will certainly be part of the open space here.
What about the land on the other side of that little island right now? It's going to the town as it sits, regardless of Cooper?
This land right here?
Yep.
That's the open space.
Right.
If I go back to the other plan, you can see in a little bit more detail as to exactly where that is. But this light green over here is actual wetlands, but I'll pull the other one up. Go back to the cover sheet here. That is the open space.
And that's being donated to the town.
That's being donated to the town, right?
It's the white parcel afterwards that you're talking about, that's going to Cooper's.
That's going to Cooper, right?
Now,
So
it-
I'm sorry, the green is wetlands.
Well, the green on the other plan is wetlands, and this one is open space.
Yeah.
How much of it is wetlands?
All of it.
Most of it, I mean, this part of it is not wetlands.
So
It's important to protect.
what advantage, what benefit does the town get for getting wetlands? And my point is,
We get to protect them.
we protect them anyway because you can't build on them anyway. So
Right.
usually when we do an open space plan, we get something that's of use.
And they're useful.
Hey,
Well, you know-
we're down this road.
We
This is
can't
all
keep, we're beating
part
a dead horse.
of the Cooper property and swapping that. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
That was
we're
the
not-
discussion, that was the agreement.
All that upland and parcel B
Right.
is
I
going to
think,
Cooper.
let's not forget about parcel B, because if Cooper does not go ahead, and I think we need to look at this as if Cooper is not part of this at this point. Because parcel B would be your open space in this development. If Cooper goes ahead, then that open space is open space on Cooper property. It's just, it's
Not your property.
Then what's the benefit to the town?
That's not correct.
So there you go.
I mean, that's, if that becomes part of the Cooper property, that's where the 55 and over
here-
goes.
Right, so we don't get any open space out of the deal.
But we get,
Gentlemen, let's talk one person at a time, and if we're gonna speak from the audience, please, announce your name and to be
If
acknowledged.
you're gonna
You could-
do an open space, let's talk about an open space plan.
Mark,
Let's look at Gray
Mark has the
Farm.
floor right now.
Gray Farm and everything else we've done. We've gotten a piece of land when we donate, we got all of that, that was viable. It wasn't wetlands, it was dry. We pushed all the houses one spot and we got good
Let him
land.
finish.
My point is, if this is this open space, then we should be getting that white parcel. We're not getting the swamp, we should be getting the white parcel that we're talking about.
Okay, are you all set?
I'm just saying,
Are you all
all
set?
the open spaces we've done
Yeah.
before, we've gotten
Okay.
viable land, not wetlands that we'd get anyway in a subdivision.
Are you all set?
I'm just saying that's how the open spaces of all of them in previous
Are you,
have gone.
are you through?
I'm through right now.
All right, good. Jerry, do you have a comment?
No, we already talked about this.
Ed?
so the comment I would make is that parcel B on this map definitely shows where the 55 and older is gonna go, but if Cooper doesn't go through, this would be the upland dry area that we would get from Wellington Drive to do the subdivision. They're offering it to Cooper. In exchange, Cooper Farm Deal is giving us more open space than originally proposed.
Correct.
Peter, you had a question.
Once again, we're not privy to any of this other information. I think that they're trying to get 6 lots in something where they don't have, doing the numbers with the wetlands that are on the property right now. If they take that portion off of it, we still get the wetlands are still there because they can't do anything anyways. True?
Oh,
Correct.
But we've made a better parcel for
We
Cooper.
may in the long run, but right now, they're gonna end up with 6 lots on something that's questionable to begin with.
But it's not questionable. They
Yeah.
provided
Wait,
us.
why-
One
are we-
second,
why are we
Jerry,
discussing this?
let finish, Peter, let finish.
So
We discussed this earlier, and I still haven't seen, how many acres are wetlands, please? Out of the entire, how many acres is the entire parcel?
22 acres, steep marsh on the rail farm.
Please.
22 acres are, is the total,
Is the total? How many is wetlands?
approximately. Ian, do you have a number of what the wetlands are, the total wetlands?
Yeah, I couldn't, off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you. I don't recall any numbers on that.
Well, those are numbers that we need to know in order whether they can get a definitive.
They provided us with.
We've already been through the definitive.
Well, I understand that.
Yeah.
We had an agreement with these guys.
They-
We told them to do this. Why are we talking about
Right,
this?
that's what I mean.
This is
We're
done.
having to rewind.
No, it's not done.
It
That's
is
my
done.
point, Peter.
That was
Peter was
preliminary.
100% right. It was preliminary and it's not done. What benefit does the town get from this? Getting the wetlands doesn't.
Look,
We asked them to do this.
Look,
May I
No,
answer
we
that
didn't ask
question?
them.
we
But in the
did.
long run,
We made-
and
we
in
made
the
it.
long run, again.
Gentlemen,
I think
please.
well, I wasn't allowed to be finished.
All right,
finish.
finish your statement, Peter, please.
In the long run, should this white property go over to Cooper's, that gets houses built on it, correct?
Some of it. Some of it says open space.
some would say it's open space.
Someone gets.
All right,
But-
are you all set?
I'll let you know when I'm done, how's that? So,
Then-
the portions that goes to Cooper's that isn't 55, or that doesn't get the develop on it, becomes open space to the town, but the town doesn't get the open space unrestricted. It has restrictions attached to it. Correct?
Yeah.
So, we kind of get something, you guys can have that, but you can't do anything with it. You can't have sports fields, you can't build a building on it, you can't do, we tell you what you can do with it. That's what we're getting in return.
But, now, I'm gonna speak for a minute.
Now I'm done.
Peter, we had this discussion at the last meeting. We
We're
went
having
through
a
this.
discussion now.
But we went through the same discussion at the last meeting. That's why we told them to come back with this plan. We had the definitive in front of us.
But we
There was
still
some
don't
questions
have
about
the
whether or not crossing that bridge meant it connected the two parcels. And we determined last time that there was enough space in that whole project to provide 6 parcels. And then to come back with a cluster. Now, we determined that last night. Am I wrong?
If I may, what's
All
the
right.
benefit? Good planning, and kudos to the board, because you looked at our project and you looked at the project behind us, which, has not been done that frequently here in the town. So what's the benefit? You guys are getting affordable housing, and you're ultimately netting much more open space. That middle portion, that's green, does have significant value. I mean, it's a natural heritage. It's a significant habitat for rare wildlife species. So there is a significant benefit. You're getting 67% combined with our property, with the Cooper piece. So you end up with more open space. They're moving things back, providing you with affordable housing and such, and we're consolidating our project. Don't forget, we also own a piece on Laurel, and we also, that if you look at where the paper road is, there'd be 2 minimal wetlands crossings where we could conceivably come in and loop a road through and get more lots exclusive of the Cooper piece. What we're proposing, regardless of Mark nodding his head no, but that is the truth. We do own a piece on Laurel. We could cut through there and loop a road. We were asked to come back with a 6-lot cluster. That's what we've done. That's the way we remember it. So.
Yeah, now, Mark, I think we're going to differ on opinions in terms of whether or not wetland is a valuable resource, piece of land.
It's not
Upland-
usable
upland-
open space.
It's not usable to whom?
The people, you can't walk on it.
Yes, you
Well,
can.
who else do you think occupies this town? Wildlife?
Yeah, well, you should have both.
Look, that's exactly right.
So that we should get the white parcel
So-
too, that's my point.
You are getting a
but-
good portion of it.
Wetlands
No, with
are
this,
usable,
with this development, we should
Wetlands
be
are
getting the
u-
white open space with this.
wetlands are usable land. Now, you may think that they're not, but I certainly
He
think that
just
they are.
told you that's endangered species, you can't do anything with it, he's got natural heritage to
I'm
deal
not
with
talking
on
about,
that.
I'm not
Green
talking
stuff.
about any kind of restrictions that might be on it. It is, wetlands are a very,
It's
very
valuable.
sensitive.
It's going to, you
valuable
can't do
piece
anything with
of
it
land.
anyway. It's not of value, they have to give it to us anyway. It's not buildable, they can't put houses on it, they can't do anything. So if you're gonna do this open space, what
It's-
value does the town get? I'm saying the white parcel has value, and we should be getting that as part of this deal. If you're gonna do an open space, and you're gonna reduce the roadway and everything else, which has a value to them.
Mark, that's because
what's
you
the
think,
value?
you think that wetland has no value.
I'm not, they can't build in it, it's unbuildable.
In the
It has no
end
value.
run,
But it does have
the
value.
end run, we may,
Now,
should all this bear fruit, the Coopers
Yes.
goes through, and that goes through, and the land gets through, okay,
There
is
is-
that right?
If
There
it
is-
doesn't go through, you get it. If it goes through and the
So once
town,
again, I don't think we can make a decision hinged upon something else that's in the future gonna happen.
there is a bigger issue here.
What's the bigger issue, or is the selectman gonna tell us, or are you
No,
gonna
no,
tell
no,
us?
I'm gonna tell you what the bigger issue is.
Here we go, why don't you tell us this at the beginning? We could have avoided all this maybe.
No, you probably go through it anyways. The bigger issue is that if that land transpires to the Cooper, then we can only look at what we have in front of us. And for us to give you 6 houses in a cluster, you still need to show us how you can fit 5 conventional in what's left.
we have that. We'll show you that.
You can show us how you can fit six in what's left, with that piece gone.
Okay, we can show you that we can get 5.
6.
We can get
Because you're
5.
asking for 6 in the
Well,
cluster.
No, we gave them the extra lot. Jesus, do you guys remember any meetings we've had?
Jerry, that
Hey,
was...
you're a
that
lame
was-
duck, don't
Jerry,
just-
Jerry, that was with the parcel that's going to the Coopers. If that goes to the Coopers, we can only look at what's in front of us, and we can only make decisions on what's in front of us. And if that lot, it doesn't matter. At last meeting, that lot was in front of us. At our next meeting...
Richard, I can't believe it. I agree with you.
At our next meeting, we can only look at what's in front of us.
Did you read the minutes? Did you read the meeting minutes? We covered this issue. I'm telling you.
We can't look at something that got sold.
Exactly.
It hasn't been sold yet.
Okay,
So then we get
So
it.
the bigger issue is, they still have to, if they're gonna fit 6 houses in the cluster, they have to show us how they can fit 6 houses in what's left after that parcel gets sold. Because that's the law, that's what we have to, that's what our zoning says. We can't
All right, so
we
let's
can't
assume
go inside our zoning.
Richard, let's assume that
We
you're
can't
right.
create our own
Let's
zoning.
take a look at the drawing that they're providing that says that they can do.
All right.
They're showing us 5.
At our last meeting, we said.
Well, we said we'd give you.
We had
It was-
discussions.
It was all one parcel.
If I may, Mr. Chair, if we look at the entire parcel, the Cooper piece and this piece, and again, this was at your suggestion that we
Yeah.
discuss this with the Coopers, okay? Because we really didn't care what the Coopers did. But we looked at it, and again, good planning. But what we can prove to you is combining both the Cooper piece and our piece, that we can certainly meet and get our 6 lots.
Right.
Because we have the 39 lots.
Right.
Total, which they showed you, during their hearing. So it
Now-
can be accomplished if.
Oh, back up. You don't get those 39 lots. That's a 55 and older community.
No,
You'd have to show.
No, what I'm saying, that's a conventional subdivision.
It's
We're not showing it on that. We haven't even looked at that.
No, in the meantime, I
Ian, do you have
checked
the
with
39
town
plan?
council, and our box is pretty clear. We can only look at what's in front of us, and if that lot is removed from this, then we look at what's in front of us and what's in front of
Then
us.
he can't get 6 lots.
Well, maybe he can show us how we can get 6 lots. If he can't get 6 lots, he gets 5 lots, and he gets a 5-lot
He
subdivision.
can't get 6 lots.
Well,
But that's
Well,
the
this is what
box
the
that we're,
discussion was
that's
that
the
you were
box that we
telling
have
us
to
we were
operate
doing.
in.
We talked about this in the last meeting. We said, look.
Exactly.
we're gonna
Then we
count
can't
this
make a
lot.
But Jerry, since the last meeting, I checked with town council, and we have a box that we can't operate outside of.
okay,
So why can't we give it to him, why can't we give that as an offset?
Well, let's
We
hold
talked
on.
about doing
Why
that.
can't we do it as a
We
special?
You
talked
have to
about
get
doing that
something in
with,
the paper. What are you
with the
getting?
church for their parking lot, for impervious.
We're
Why
getting
can't
a
we do the same
combination of
thing?
2 developments that gives
We
us.
can't.
we-
We have to look at this
Okay,
alone.
that's
Well,
fine, so
Jerry-
let's just do the 5 lots. If that will satisfy your criteria, we're showing you the 5 lots, because
I don't think you can get 5 lots.
No,
on that.
No,
we
he
can't.
said, he
No,
says
we
he's showing us
definitely
5.
can.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think he
Here's
can get
the
5.
plan, Sean. Can I see it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's assume for a second that we could just get the 5 lots. Our position is that we could get 6 if we have a whole piece. But if we can just get the 5 lots, and again, our position is that we do meet all zoning for the 5 lots. So we'll take the 5 lots. You told us to come back with 6, we'll take the 5, we're fine with it.
And donate the land right now to the town.
No, we're not donating the land to the town. I can get that by donating the land or doing my deal with Coopers.
Yeah, no, you're welcome to take a look here. Yeah. The 5 lots would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5.
I want to see where the house goes on lot 1. I actually like this better than the 6 because that circle is on the end of the property. I mean, it's not on it, but that is.
If I could interject for a second, Corey Hardy from 120 Goldsmith Street. I own the horse farm there.
Yeah.
Originally, when that subdivision went on with Jim and Steve, there was some discussion about the property just to the left of the driveway there, about that being a separate.
130 Goldsmith or the...
120 Goldsmith Street.
North?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the property just to the north
Okay.
there on the left-hand
It
side.
says on the real farm on this drawing, but that's...
Yeah, now we're formally up, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Corey owns that.
Yeah.
And so that parcel there would be one of the proposed 6, is that correct?
No.
Or
No.
entirely
No.
exclusive and,
Right, yeah, nothing to
That
do
has
with
nothing,
it.
that hasn't been in this discussion at all,
Yeah.
Okay.
from the beginning.
okay,
It's south of that.
I'm sorry?
It's southeast, it's on this direction,
Yeah, but yours is
south of
not
it.
included in this.
Okay.
yeah. So it looks like they could move, Mark.
Aye.
Yeah,
Fine,
5,
yeah,
and you know
fine,
what?
yeah.
In order to expedite this, we're fine with the 5. I mean, it's not what we were told, and we understand, we spoke to town council, we understand.
Yeah,
We'll take the 5. We'll take the 5.
then I think that I have no issue.
But we
with this.
asked, we'd like to close the hearing.
Oops.
Roy
After.
Webster, 134 Goldsmith Street.
Yes,
I
Roy.
mean, if, I see it could be 5 and you're gonna close it, but does anybody know where the house is gonna go on lot 1 on this new drawing in front of you?
But we can ask the proposers here if they have any idea where that might go.
I do. I did prepare a plan showing, in fact, I could probably bring it up. I haven't actually printed one out. I have it on AutoCAD.
Yeah, that should suffice.
So the
No,
approved
we're
plan
not
is
doing
a
it.
conventional
I
layout.
have,
That's
I have
not
one,
what
I have
they
one other question, but I'd love
want
to
to
see this
propose.
first.
They're still proposing the open space plan with
Last time
5
I looked, there were
lots.
4 there and 2
I don't
up here, and I
think, I'm not
missed
sure
the
Mr.
middle
Webster
meeting.
understood that.
Right, he's
Yeah.
not proposing this, he's still proposing the cluster development.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
We're not
means-
gonna interfere, for the record, with the Cooper piece. We think that's a good project.
Okay,
So-
so, and for the record, as Maren pointed out, this drawing that you just looked at is a paper drawing. It's a proof drawing to show that they can get 5 lots in that whole piece. The actual layout of the houses that they will build
It's still the original.
will be something like this,
But missing a house.
missing a house,
Well,
exactly. And
the circle isn't in the same place.
Correct.
The circle on that is like sitting on my stone wall almost.
Doesn't have to be in the same
Here
place.
it's-
Yeah, no, he's bringing it up right now.
They're shortening the road, so the circle is gonna end up right here.
They're gonna, yes.
And is it gonna be like, we're
It
gonna
doesn't have
have
to be in the
lots and
same
lots of
place.
light right there?
Let's
Okay,
see, let's see what he brings up
I
on the
don't think
screen.
we can close this meeting on this, tonight.
Why not?
Oh, I don't see any reason
I
why
don't see
not.
any reason
We're
not to
we're
either.
5
You don't
lots.
have a plan in front of you to endorse.
We have this one right here in front
That
of
one has 6 lots. You have to redraw the lines, you have to see how the layout works, where the roads go and everything else like that. You need a plan.
But this again is an open space plan.
Correct.
That's why I allowed it all to be clustered, correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Which now turns around and means that land out back, what they're calling the open space, as part of this, is what they originally proposed.
Now we
to
meet the
donate.
criteria.
It'll look something similar to
So
this.
it stays as open space and now in perpetuity.
No, the back
What do you
piece
know?
gets sold because we don't need that back piece to show our 5 lots.
Then how do you,
We're
then
not,
where's the frontage? They don't need any frontage.
we're not looking at
All hammered.
the piece that goes to the,
Well, they're just taking the 6 lots and saying now there's 5, but they still gotta have, they
What
don't
we're
have
showing-
any frontage on all, on
These-
that road.
this is the
When
5
you go back
lots.
to the old one where the road comes way down.
Yeah, this
Is
is
that
the
what
5
you're
lots,
doing?
Peter.
Yeah, look at the new proof plan.
So this one here's got 150, 150, there's your hammerhead, 150, there's your hammerhead. That's how you're getting them?
That's it.
Okay.
And we meet it.
And you meet that with this, taking all this wetlands out of it?
Exactly, and that's why we did that plan, you know,
Well, that's,
in the event that you
is
know.
there something green?
And there's, you know, I can't really, it's gonna take me time to find that, I can't find it on AutoCAD.
What, the amount of wetlands?
No, exactly where the houses go, but I have put a plan, the houses can certainly go on that plan and meet the requirements.
You know, and all the soil testing's done for that too, even for individual septics, which is something that we may even consider now.
Right.
Now that I have 5 lots and not do, you know, anything on parcel A. So there's your extra white land that you were alluding to.
And Jim DeAugustine for On the Rail, Mr. Chair. But if, now there'll be one, that plan shows 6 houses.
Right.
I think you can all, someone imagine one of them missing.
But we have to, there has to be something that we gotta approve.
Look, are you approving the lot? We don't have to present where the houses sit on the lots, do we? Is that necessary?
I
It's
don't
not
believe
as far as
so,
you-
no.
Well, you
So-
do, but you need to approve the
We
lot.
need something that has 5 lots on it.
We just presented.
How far do the houses have to be off of my property line? Is there a
There,
restriction?
there is, yeah. It's what, a 20
17 feet.
foot or 30 feet?
17 feet.
Is it 17 feet? Yeah. It's in our zoning bylaws.
All right, I'm trying to be quick. I have two other questions. That loop that's right at the end of my property, is that gonna have a bright street light, or can it just be little lights on the end of people's driveways? Do I have to have bright light? We're losing all the stars.
We can request on the special permit that they show us a lighting pattern from the streetlight.
Yeah,
so-
we're a
So low
private
lights,
road.
that's not a
I
problem.
mean, we don't want a lot of light. I mean, when Toyota came in or whatever, it was like, we lost the stars. It was nasty.
That would be a problem.
Yeah.
So my last question is, along the right side of Wellington Drive as it goes in, there's a lot of nice tall pine trees that block the view of the horse farm and it kind of wraps around. Can the pine trees be left
At the
there?
previous meeting, we discussed that. We only cut down trees.
We
that
did
need to.
submit a
Okay.
plan showing that the existing trees are being left,
Okay, great.
and there are, in addition to that, new trees added.
Right, we're adding new trees as well, as far as the
Good.
planting plan. So
And-
we've
Everything
provided
is-
you, I think we've provided you with the 5 lots to approve plan. We're okay with it. We came back in with our cluster, and that's what we would like approved for 5 lots.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
what we're
the
looking for.
only difference would be that we take out one of these houses.
And
And it would essentially
amenable
remain
to
the
that.
same as you see it there. It's not
And
gonna change
it's a
that much.
win-win for the town.
But you
and
don't have a 5, can't bring up a 5 lot on your computer.
Other than
The one we
taking
presented.
one off.
Can you take one off of the
Do you know if the
You see-
procedures behind approving something in
My
concept?
predicament is, the way I feel about it is there still a deal in the woods with Cooper, correct?
Yeah, there's still a deal in the
We're-
woods with Cooper, and
All
if
right.
Cooper doesn't go through, the town gets that parcel B. That's the end of it. So.
From you.
Yeah, from us.
So worst case,
So,
worst case.
And in
Well,
that
not
case,
necessarily,
six,
but-
So why don't we
six
get it
lots,
now?
right.
Why do we have to wait until,
because you forced us into this.
Yeah.
we didn't force you into it. If you-
Okay, you suggested it was strong.
We just decided to do extra work.
Yeah, I mean, we've done the extra work for this.
They have, and it's, I.
Actually, can I make one comment here? I think if we say that if we're looking at this with parcel B does not go to Cooper, then we should perhaps get our 6 lots, because that was originally what we were presenting here tonight, was 6 lots
Yes.
for the
That's right.
entire piece of
I
property.
think that's fair.
And if
So
Cooper,
far.
if Cooper does go to, if parcel B does go to Cooper, we have to take one of those houses out. Simple as that.
And we're fine with that.
The problem is
Yeah.
that we can't approve something that we don't have in front of us. So if we have,
I would recommend that you poll the board, see if they're ready to vote. The concern of the applicant is that they'll be missing one of the board members, and they'll have to
I know.
start a lot of this discussion over
That's why I
again.
think we should pull.
The only precedent you have for voting on a subdivision plan that was only a sketch, only a layout, was McIntosh Lane. You did do it, town council was a little perturbed that you did it, but
You know what?
have worked
But
through
this is
it.
more than.
That, wait,
Yeah.
wait 1 second. McIntosh Lane is a perfect example. We did McIntosh Lane in the open space, we did it as an open space, correct? The land that we got was junk. Remember, it was all junk. We got $100,000 from the developer because all we got was open space with wetlands. There has to be a value when you do an open space plan to the town.
There's
We
trails.
all deemed that McIntosh Lane had no value. Their open space had no value, and we got some money. In order for this to work, there has to be something of value. There has to be that white lot,
Okay.
of money involved with open space.
well, there's,
Here is the value. The value is if the Cooper thing does not go through, we vote that, I say we vote on the 6 house lots, and if the Cooper lot does not go through, we get all that white land.
But what
Okay?
value do we have right now? That's my point.
That's
the
one.
value.
2 is if the Cooper property goes through, that property goes over to the Cooper side, but we gain more open space
And affordable.
and affordable through the Cooper land. That's our perk.
But we don't
That's-
gain it, the
The
developer
town,
gains
the
it.
town gets it.
The developer
I know that they
gets
only
it.
have, I know that they only have to put in so much, they don't have to put a whole road in, they don't have to do other, but we get more land out of the Cooper portion than what the Cooper portion property could
Why don't we do it
potentially.
this way? Why
get.
don't we do what we just did at McIntosh Lane? If that piece of parcel
I think
goes
it's what it
over.
said.
No, I think we get the $100,000, because the developer is gonna get the benefit from that piece of land. He's gonna get more lots, he's gonna get a higher density, he's gonna get more
Mark, that's-
housing down there.
That's way,
That's
that's
extortion, but
That's
way,
not extortion.
Mark, that's way too confusing. We have in front of us a 5-lot parcel, assuming that.
All right, I'm gonna make a motion if we can end this.
Wait, let me finish, please.
All right.
We have a 5-lot parcel that, assuming that that piece that they're showing there goes to the Coopers. We're looking at the parcel on the left, which will yield 5 lots. And these guys have said they'll be glad to do 5 lots. We ended right there. And even though we don't have, I think, Marion, you're right, I think we did have something that showed 5 lots at one time.
I believe so also.
Yeah.
So the road is staying right
so we-
where it is, the
we shared
circle
within-
is not
within
gonna be
reason.
longer
There was a
one.
5-lot sketch that I know that we've seen before, so we'll use that sketch, and we'll vote on the lot that we have in front of us.
Yeah, but the only way we could vote on that is what the disposition of the white
We
square
have,
is.
the disposition is with the town, it's with the selectmen and the Cooper property. It's not with us.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. It's part of the open space.
Mark.
It's the only valuable part.
Mark, we
Part of what he
can't,
says is correct.
we can't vote on something that's not there.
I mean,
All we
look
can
at it
vote
from our
on
point of view.
is something that.
We get it.
in
Well,
front of
let
us.
me, can I just explain something? I mean, your regulations, your zoning bylaws require us to show you a proof plan.
Yes.
Each lot has a certain amount of uplands and shape factors and everything else, which I have prepared for you. And if we can from that create a cluster, we have met your requirements showing the standard 5 lots. If we only show 5 houses there.
I think Marion's looking for the 5-lot plan.
It's 5 lots with a shared driveway.
Shared driveways,
Hit
that's
the
the one
house.
that wasn't viable.
Right. But also, if you want to, look, our bylaw says if we do an open space, we cluster the houses, and then the town gets the benefit of the open space. So that means the green piece has to go to the town, and the white piece has to go to the town. Otherwise,
Well, that's not true.
yes, it is true. We get
So-
it. When this gets recorded, we get it.
So, Mark,
For 6 lots, yes.
you're making
Yes,
this very
for
confusing.
6 lots,
right.
6.
If-
For 5, it's not an open, it's not really an open space plan.
They can absolutely get a 5-lot subdivision.
Open space.
With a turnaround, with a rotary in the middle. They don't have to do it this way. But they can get 5 lots. Look at, here's your 5 lots.
All right, so what do we vote?
And there's
We know
there's your
that,
circle.
we know
Does the
your
5 lots
positions.
have houses on it?
What
Does
are
this
the
one have
rest of the
houses on it?
board,
All right.
I'm just,
how would the rest of the board like to proceed?
Good
Yeah.
point, good
Poll the
point.
board, well, how they feel about it.
so there's no circle
All right.
on this one?
Who prefers to, who will vote for a 5-lot subdivision, open space, cluster? 5-lot subdivision. Peter, Ed,
I make a motion for a 6-lot, open space with the green and the white going to the town. You get your subdivision, the 6-lot subdivision, should the Cooper property and not transpire. So you get your 6 houses, we get all the green and all the white.
If the Cooper doesn't go through, is that?
If the Cooper,
How long can that stretch out?
how can what stretch out?
The Cooper thing, I mean, you say that if the Cooper thing doesn't happen, but I mean, that could be years?
Well, they can't do anything until something happens. There has to be,
But if the
there has to be a
Cooper
decision on the Cooper property within 6. What is the right of rescission goes out on Cooper? When does it end? Because it's behoove you to have this taken care of this now, correct?
Yes, I mean, we'd like this, like their development to be approved and ours as well, so the sooner for both parties, the better. And it also means that open space gets to the town sooner. We
That
are,
doesn't matter. It's open space now.
Yeah.
well, we're meeting with the Board of Selectmen on the 24th.
Should a planning member be at that meeting now, from now on, so that we're not sitting here, throwing?
You are,
No,
you're
you-
welcome to be there. We appreciate the input.
Yeah.
Could you make a request
We
to the
are,
selectmen? To one of our big presidents?
we expect there to be a fair amount of comment from
Yes.
the town.
Yes,
from the
I
citizens
will.
2 weeks from
We'll
now.
appoint one.
But at that point, we're hoping that we can get a
You can't
final
close
list
this
agreement
now. There's no way.
signed.
This is a
so
win.
we can move
Six.
I say
forward.
pull the board.
6
Okay,
weeks.
I think in reality, providing, if everything transpires the way that they want it to do, it's a good take for the town. All right, we get this lot, they get a little bit, they get a little bit, the town gets this open space. However, there was something that you had to do with these paper roads off of, and I'm kind of kind of doing a little twist here, honey. Will that be donated to the town also? That paper road goes from you guys, you
They
to
don't
this?
own paper road.
I thought he said he already owned off
No, we
Laurel
own a
Road.
parcel on Laurel that accesses this. I'll
Will
sweeten the
will
pot.
that come with it so that we actually has a nice access to it from that side?
No, we don't need it.
Well, for the walkway, we do.
For the animals?
Access.
You grant us an easement through it?
We'll grant you an easement through it. Yep, that shouldn't be a problem. No, yes, we will do that.
Yes.
Does that sound reasonable?
We just got more.
Yeah, it's great, so what are we doing? Are we voting on something?
Yes.
So whatever I just thought in my head, it might have come out in verbalization.
Because I'm gonna
That's
turn
where
into a
we're
pumpkin in about
Yes.
5 minutes, you guys better figure it out.
Are you going in 5 minutes?
I'm out.
We- We
You
are,
can't go.
I can.
we are, Terry, right now, we're voting on that plan, which includes the white parcel,
Let's vote.
that ends up with this 6-lot subdivision. Okay?
Motion away.
No, that's not what we're voting on.
Should,
It is not.
and should the Cooper property not go through, you will only get 5 lots.
If
And
it
we
does,
still get,
If it does go, not if it doesn't.
if it does, so you got it all back?
all right, however I meant it to say.
If the Cooper property does go through and parcel B goes to Cooper, what's left, we'll cut it down to 5 lots.
Correct.
That's right.
Okay, all right.
Is that what I meant to say?
Yes.
I'm okay with that.
You guys good with that?
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
And we get the
easement,
that
yes,
whole,
you do.
that whole lot going?
You get the whole thing.
The whole easement.
You know what, I just threw that in there, big fella.
I'm confused, let's just take it from the top and just go through this all.
No, I don't want to
So
do it, I
vote,
can't,
let's
I
go,
can't.
make a motion.
The motion I just made, that
I'll
you just
second
printed
it.
out, so be it. So it was written, so it shall be done.
Peter, I'll entertain a motion. All you have to do is say, so moved,
So moved.
to approve the 6-lot subdivision that includes parcel B, and it'll be the open space plan that shows them all clustered together, that we have in front of us.
I'll second that.
Both of these are in front of us, with the conditions that we just talked about, that we have a right-of-way, that we have access through, the public access through this walking paths, and that if parcel B does go to the town, that circle becomes a circle with only...
Parcel B goes to Cooper.
If it does go to Cooper, then the circle becomes a 5-lot circle instead of 6.
Correct.
Okay?
Shade lighting,
So,
a shade light plan.
and a shade light plan.
And we'll do that as well.
Yeah, and the rest of your roads, meet town subdivision requirements?
Where is this walking through thing? I mean,
It's all cloudy, this stuff,
Yeah.
just not.
We're in the middle of a motion. We're in the middle of a motion. And the roadway meets town subdivision and town highway standards.
Yeah, we're a private
You
road.
cannot have an either or.
All those in favor?
Wait a second, you can't have an either or subdivision. It's either this that
Private.
we sign, or they come back and they do something else. You can't have it either or. You
This
can't
is-
say, the road is either gonna go here, or it's gonna go
Well, if
here.
this all has to pass muster with the town council. Good? It has to pass council,
The conditions,
and you're gonna pay for our council to look at it.
no.
Hey, I gotta ask anything,
The conditions.
I'm learning from the big fella.
All right, come on.
All right. And the conditions will meet our subdivision requirements?
Yeah, I think.
For a private road.
For a private road, yeah.
That doesn't fly. You know we're gonna end up eating that road someday. Make
No.
sure it meets spec.
The
Right, it has to build to the subdivision standards.
You have to build it to subdivision standards because it's gotta have the right turnaround for fire
Oh, yeah, no,
services.
we'll-
That's certainly there.
And it's gotta have the right road
designed that
bed,
way.
it's gotta have the right width, it's gotta have the right curving, it's gotta have the right drainage.
Good call.
Does the 5 drawing
We're in the
show
middle of a motion.
circle for
We're
a
in the
fire
middle of a
truck, or
motion.
does it show a
We-
funny driveway?
We're in the middle of a motion right now, we can't just, are we okay with the subdivision
Yes.
standards? Good, all
I
right.
just have to upgrade it to
So,
standards.
any other conditions?
Town stands you can't do.
Well,
It's 100 feet
All
short.
I need is a so moved.
No,
So moved.
hold
All I
on.
need is a second.
Hold on a second. Yeah, I think the road is 100 foot, 100%.
We propose a 20-foot wide road instead of a 22-foot wide road because it's a private road. That's the only difference.
I think that's something that we could probably, Jimmy?
Thought they were gonna leave it private.
it is private.
If it's,
Private.
yeah, private,
And they're gonna build a 20-foot road.
20-foot wide road.
But we
All the
still need to turn
subdivision
around
standards.
regardless.
The turnaround is still the same standard size, same as the
Private road, then I
different.
don't care.
Everything else
all right,
is the same.
that's perfect. That can be, that'll be part of this as well. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed?
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Yes.
That was nay.
Nay.
No.
You have your subdivision.
Thank you.
A bunch of other stuff occurs.
If town
Okay.
council.
Do I presume that that was the vote on both the open space special permit and the definitive subdivision?
That was always.
Let's-
And will,
Let's clear it.
there's a site plan that's associated with the open space special permit. You don't endorse the site plan and don't endorse the definitive subdivision until the design is complete and you've approved.
Yeah,
Yes.
we've approved nothing.
Okay,
That's my point.
all right, so,
She just satisfied it.
She didn't satisfy, she just asked you a question.
She said, well, they're just gonna be
So the-
satisfied as soon as she puts her fingers to the pit to that, right?
Baron?
We need to ask town council if what we just did, we can legally sign.
so, Marion, your
All right.
comments have value,
I already,
so,
and I did say already
town
that
council.
the
Peter?
town council had to approve it.
Okay.
That's part of the
All
thing,
right.
correct.
We are in such violation of subdivision control law, it's pathetic. Awesome.
Well, let's let somebody tell us we did
Well,
that.
they're gonna have to, because
Well, let 'em.
what did we just sign? We don't even know what we signed.
We absolutely.
we signed a six,
I just voted on
It's
it.
done, it's done, it's done.
it's the plan.
Meeting over? No, I think we have.
We have one more thing to do.
I really
So
don't
that,
want to.
No, we just
I want to thank you for your service.
so
So
we don't
don't need
need
to put it,
it. No, we don't need that.
don't
Thank
you
you.
need an extension?
Yep.
and
Thank
the
you.
consensus of the board is that is the open space and the subdivision
We can't do
approval.
that.
All right? A motion that plan we just proved, a motion that this is both this open space and subdivision approval. We have a motion,
Again, providing
No, you
all passes muster in town.
in council,
10 years.
and a second,
You don't care.
and all in favor? Aye. Thank you. No, we have, Jimmy, site plan modification, 39 Air Road, town fuel facility layout.
Yep, town,
Oh, don't give us a plan, that would make it too easy. Just give him what he wants.
Give them my line.
This,
Just look at that other plan.
Yeah, whatever.
yeah. And this goes back to you, Marion.
We have to sign anything?
No.
So what do
no,
we do?
just site plan.
All right, Jimmy, do you want to explain what we got here? Do you want me to explain it? Go ahead.
Simple version is we're putting a new fuel facility. We thought it was gonna be the same footprint. It ended up, the footprint has changed. Omission by several people that we didn't realize was a site plan modification.
Including yours truly.
It's about, I think I calculated out 770 square feet additional impervious cover. The current site plan has 37%, and you're allowed up to 50% on that.
Yeah, and there are special improvement, water resource district special permits in place that allow between 30 and 50% is the range that we've allowed on this site. So I'm my opinion is you only need to do a site plan modification to show that change.
Good. Do we have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the site plan modification.
Do I have a second?
Second.
A motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. The ayes have it. Thank you, Jim.
Do whatever you want.
Good work. Does that mean we can all gas up there now? All the townspeople too?
Is that just diesel?
Elected officials?
Okay, we gotta go off the,
And
Make a motion to close.
motion to close.
Well, that's that.
Second.
Jerry, thank you very much.
Gary, thank you very much for your service here.
You owe me 10.